Sorry, we're done. I'm not doing Space Fact this week. I'm sorry, relax.
Good evening, and welcome to Reserve Inspirations D&D Live, where my friends and I play Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition for your entertainment. My name is Aaron, your Galaxy Master for the duration of this adventure, and Andy is hiding in the background, in the darkness, in the abyss.
Where he belongs.
To make sure that everything goes smoothly and the chat is answered. And today, Kayla is not here. She took the weekend off for the long weekend. So Andy will also be in charge of music. So good luck with that, Andy.
Good luck. You got this.
Now for the phenomenal players that we have here. We have Lauren playing Tita, the Thry-Kreen Way of the Iron Lung Monk, and next to her is Mikhail, aka Mike, playing Zaxa Zior, the Vidalcan Divination Wizard. Right off to the side here on a television screen from far, far away, we have Priya as Minerva, the Scourge ASMR Gloomstalker Ranger. And of course, next to her, I don't know if she's next to you on the screen, but just at our table, we have Christina playing Plonk, the Verdun Rogue Assassin. And of course, next to her, our special guest this evening, Reserve Inspirations artist and friend of the stream, Sarah, playing Emmy, the Fire Genasi Bard at the College of Glamour. So, welcome all. We are here today because it's fun. And
Agreed. Because it's fun.
So a couple of announcements. The winner of our t-shirt giveaway last week was Danny F211. Danny, if you are watching, please send us an email with your information at reserveinspiration@gmail.com. We have yet to receive that, and it's very sad because if we don't, then you don't get a shirt.
I'll take that shirt.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if he gets around to it. But, stay tuned. Stay tuned at the break. We will have another t-shirt giveaway. We'll be announcing the keyword at the beginning of the break, as usual. And you'll have until the end of the break to enter that keyword into the chat. Only enter once, otherwise you're disqualified. And other than that, we will announce the winner at the end of the episode and again at the beginning of the next one. We are here live on Mondays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And our videos hit YouTube on Fridays at 10 a.m. We, of course, have a recap playlist. And there is a new recap on YouTube for episodes 1 to 10, so you can catch up real quick by watching that. Yesterday, the Reserve Inspirations Game Corner, Lauren and I played the Game of Life with Christina and another friend of the stream, Drew. That was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
The episode will be hitting YouTube this coming Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be live again Sunday, October 25th at 6 p.m. playing Horrified. And that is
so good.
Such a fun game, so I cannot wait to play that for everyone. Definitely check us out, should be a lot of fun. Now, for social media, fan art, if you, I've mentioned this many, many, many times, if you consider yourself an artist, send us some fun art of any characters you may like, or any of the concepts we've been talking about. We really appreciate it, and if we get enough, we might make a little video. Also, please...
We might, maybe not.
Maybe not.
We'll think about it.
Get your friends and family to follow us on Twitch, as well as subscribe and like our videos, comment, whatever. We would love to respond to anything that you put up. And of course, we always appreciate likes and subscribes and all that. Definitely helps us out. So, much appreciated. Next, Priya, I would love for you to give us a space fact.
Yeah, will do. It's been a little bit since I've done this, but today's space fact is something that I'm stealing from astronomy class that I took a couple semesters ago. And today's fact is that there are only 4 categorical components that make up everything in the entire universe, and these 4 components are matter, energy, space, and time. Anything physical / measurable, observable that's in the universe is going to be in one of those 4 categories. So there's really only 4 things you ever have to worry about.
Nice. All right. Well, as all of you out there know, I usually say a few words about how great the Game Reserve is. Well, today I just don't have time. I just don't have time to tell you all about the fun and exciting games that are run every week there. or the plethora of gaming merchandise that you can find there. And no, I do not have enough time to mention how the Game Reserve is open every day with late hours for your convenience. What?
There's no time.
I don't have
There's
time.
no time.
There is no time. And finally, I definitely do not have time to let everyone know that pretty much anything you need, James will bend over backwards to make sure you leave with what you came for, or at the very least, order it for you. Well, maybe he won't bend over backwards. I don't think he can actually do that. Well, I'm getting sidetracked. Regardless.
Try.
Anyway, yeah, the Game Reserve, I just don't have time. Because it's time for the recap, which is happening right now. So.
Oh my god. My god.
Take a breath.
It's happening.
So, last time on Reserve Inspirations D&D, with Minerva captured by the Obsidian Order, the party enlisted aid in the form of a captain and her ship to get Minerva back. Captain Emmy Strang, an alcoholic fire genasi bard of sorts, agrees to help the party in exchange for an undisclosed future favor. She explains that she'd have no problem with following the ship that took Minerva as long as they could outfit her with the ship's unique signature code. After realizing they had no idea what that was or where to find it, Emmy led Zaxa, Tita, and Plonk to one of 2 energy signature towers in search of this code. At the tower, the party met 2 teenage genasi, Ash, who was a fire genasi, and Misty, who was a water genasi, and eventually their supervisor, an earth genasi named Brock. Plonk distracted Brock by having him help her find a non-existent ship that she'd claimed to have docked there.
My idea.
While Tita kept Ash busy behind the building with some moss and tales of love's past. Meanwhile, Emmy used her charm to attain the necessary information from Misty while Zaxa played the role of the scribe. They all hurried back to Emmy's ship, the Bolt 960, where Punch, the Bolt's pilot, punched in the code and began to follow its trail. In the days following, Tita ended up getting intimate in a broom closet with Bernadette.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, yeah.
Who was another fire genasi picked up along the way. Emmy locked them in there overnight, which was, always fun.
Which Tita was fine with.
Plonk tossed and turned, barely getting any sleep, worrying about the voice that invaded her mind just the day before.
Yeah, she did.
The phrase, "I'm coming for you," replayed over and over in her head. Kubrick has been very uncomfortable sharing the cockpit with Punch, the pilot of Emmy's ship, due to Punch being a barbed devil or fiend, one of the sworn enemies of any paladin of Ayun, which the party recently learned he is one of.
I wouldn't have known.
Not to mention, he is... Look at Bria's face. She has no idea. She hasn't been watching. She doesn't know what's going on.
What?
That's what we said.
He was useless.
That's what everyone thought. But also not to mention, Punch is a rival pilot, so, of course... doesn't quite like that. Tita and Doc, another member of the Bolt's crew, carefully crafted a new bong for Tita. Which,
Yeah, we did.
Which you named, what was it? Bubbles?
Rizzoli.
Oh, Rizzoli.
We changed it last minute. It was a last
Rizzoli.
minute change. Rizzoli.
Do you want to describe real quick?
I
Just a
know.
brief little...
Oh,
what
well,
does this
because
new bong look
Genevieve
like?
was just so cute and purple. I don't know. Maybe we'll make this one be... I don't know. It'll be blue, perhaps.
Oh, alright.
And maybe some swirly bits.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Very good.
Some swirly bits.
Uh,
Swirly bits.
Zaxa finally investigated the bag he found back on Vidalk and learned of its magical properties, allowing him to carry an immense amount of material with no extra weight.
I literally did not need it. I haven't needed it yet.
That's true.
So there was no reason to suspect it.
A couple of days pass while traveling through astral space until finally the party comes across their quarry, orbiting a debris field. A debris field of rock and chunks of earth, torn shreds of metal and glass, and a few intact portions of the very first spaceship they had ever been on, the Halo ship. And that is where we will pick up today. So first, we're going to start off with Minerva. And then we will get to you all, as you are going to be coming up from the rear quickly after we begin this. So,
Hit it from the back.
yo, get it. So Andy, if you want to put up the image of what the situation that they can see at the moment, the situation is this. There's a central portion, the engine room and the control room of the Halo ship, which is kind of still floating right in the center of this debris. There are still tendrils of electricity that connect 3 out of 4 pieces that have kind of broken apart. And as you can see on the screen, obviously not all of you, but I showed you earlier, you can see that there are chunk sections still attached, and there are also some sections that have been ripped apart, broken off. And there are small asteroids or rocks that are kind of floating around the debris as well. And one thing that catches your attention, Minerva, as your ship approaches, is you see a massive earth elemental on the far side of the debris field, just hucking boulders at still parts of the ship that are still intact, and yeah, just roaring out in anger. And that is where we were beginning. You are currently on a ship with your captors. You and Diambra, who's a friend of yours, have both been captured by the Obsidian Order. And 4 of those members are still watching over you and her. And we did have a little bit of what happened to you in the while everyone else was trying to find you, and that will be available on our Patreon, everyone, just so you know, which we will be getting up soon. But yeah, just like a little bit of information, backstory. So you come whizzing up with your Quarian in sight. Well, the beam of energy that is coming from your mask is in sight, and it points to. Let me give you a quick little thing here. Where is she? Okay, it points to the largest section of the Halo ship that is still floating in air, and it's actually kind of right next to where you are, as your ship is pulling up in between section 4 and section 2 and section 6. So I don't know if you have that map in front of you, Priya. You can see your ship is kind of pulling up in that general vicinity. Okay. So as you see this out the window and the Obsidian Order is all around you, what would you like to do?
Okay, so I'm assuming I'm in that lounge area outside the cockpit.
Yep.
Okay. So and I was sitting next to Diambra presumably, but I'm just going to stand up and run over to the cockpit and just burst in all of our guns right now on that earth elemental.
Yeah, and as you bust in there, number 8's like, yeah, we see it, we're on it. And you see he leaves the cockpit itself and runs out to head to one of the gun ports. And number 7 also does the same thing. He kind of runs off to the opposite side. And they both grab onto the guns and begin to prep fire. Are you beginning an assault upon this creature?
Yeah.
All right, roll initiative, please.
All right.
I rolled initiative for everyone already, so good to go. What is your initiative, Minerva?
My initiative is 21.
20. Wow, all right.
14 plus 7.
Very nice. Okay, so number 7 begins to fire out at this creature. And misses. You see this beam of radiant energy fly out, and this creature just kind of lifts up one piece of the ship, and it just blasts in, sending shards of glass and debris into space. And after number 7 is your turn. What would you like to do?
Cool. Okay. Are there any
cool?
Are there any guns in the cockpit, or is it just the 2?
It's just the 2 side guns.
Okay. Great. All right. So I saw one of them just missed. I'm gonna go run over to that side and just move whoever is there aside and be give me that, and then just shoot it.
Okay, so you're gonna push him out of the way.
Yeah.
Make an attack roll and add +5 to it.
Okay. A melee attack?
It's gonna be it would be with your dexterity.
Oh, okay. That is a okay. So
Well, no,
wait,
it's just a
+5?
plus. It's just a +5. You don't get dexterity. It's the dice +5.
Oh, okay, so 7 + 5, 12.
12. You fire out, and you see the beam heading straight for it. But again, the creature just kind of ducks down a bit, and you see just the beam just kind of glances off his rocky shoulder. It doesn't seem to do anything.
Can I use a bonus action?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So she just kind of like she's pissed that she missed, so she just like points out at it and makes like a little check mark motion, and right above the earth elemental for a moment another like check mark appears in red and then it dissipates, but she has cast Hunter's Mark on it.
Okay. What is the range of Hunter's Mark?
The range is 90 feet.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I'll say that's good. You're good. So yeah, you this little check mark forms for a moment above this creature's head and then dissipates into the darkness of space. Anything else you'd like to do, Minerva?
Nah.
All right. One takes the helm and begins to bring the ship closer to that area. Nope. You know what? That's not true. He's going to circle around and head toward that larger section of the ship. And then once he gets right outside, he leaves the cockpit and heads toward the hatch to leave the ship. And that's number 1. Number 8 is going to fire out at this creature. And that's a success. You see a large chunk of like the chest of this like rocky chest gets blasted off from the shot from number 8. And that brings us to Diambra. I will let you kind of run her as an NPC. Is there anything that Diambra would like to do?
I mean, she's still got
She's
she,
handcuffed.
yeah. I'm assuming that she's not a rogue. Does she have any tools to get out of that? No. All right.
No, she's also a paladin, but different deity.
Yeah.
Like Kubrick.
Just roll my
I don't think there's anything she can do right now.
Okay. All right. So after Diambra, that will bring us to. All right, we got the massive Earth Elemental. You see him kind of rip off 2 pieces of itself off of its back, and just start hucking them. Priya, can you roll a d6 for me?
Yeah.
And Mike, can you also roll a d6 for me?
I can.
That is a 3.
That is a 6.
Whoa.
Okay, so Minerva, the first one, the first boulder, gets hucked out at. Let's see, what piece is this? He pretty much takes one of the boulders and just kind of smashes it down into one of the pieces that he's holding. And then the second one he hucks, and you got a 6.
Yes.
You see the piece that was right next to your ship that's kind of broken in half, the one that's labeled 6. You see a boulder go flying, and right before it impacts, you see the boulder just kind of open up into a smaller earth elemental, and it smashes through the window and lands inside.
She's like, okay.
This isn't good.
And with that, it's now number 2's turn, and 2. She might actually be able to do something from a distance. Let's see. No, all her spells are closer. So she is just going to head out after 1, following behind to go to that hatch. Just head out. She's leaving. She's gone forever.
I'm gonna get going, actually.
Yeah, that's 2.
Late.
And that will bring us back up to the top. We're going to go 1 more round, and then the other ship is going to appear. So, 7, that is going to fire. Oh, he's going to push you out of the way.
Do we have guns?
And try to fire again.
It's yours.
He's going to look at you and be like, well, it looks like you're just as terrible as I am.
Oh, no,
Fires.
I have a different thing that I'm
What is this thing's AC? Oh, this one impacts, but doesn't seem to do a lot of damage, but seems to do something.
Yeah. It doesn't do a lot, just like 40.
Yeah, it's a little something. Okay, perfect. So that brings us to you again, Minerva. What would you like to do?
Oh God! All right, so she looks towards where one went, and then she looks back at the gun, and then she looks, and then she looks, and then she, and then she turns to no. I'm with number 7. Number 7.
Yeah, he's pushing you out of the way. You're pushing him out of the way. Number 7 is a tabaxi. He's got the little tail and everything, and he's got the completely
that guy
clad in black, and he's got his mask on with little ears poking out the top.
If we get on that shit,
All right,
he's
so
mine.
I'm just gonna say to him then.
She just called dibs.
I mean, for both that shitty, no use of 2 of us being here. And then she turns and she is going to dash after 1.
Okay. So you follow 1 and 2 down to the little hatch, the exit hatch. Fantastic. When you get there, 2 is already starting to open the hatch, which is allowing the atmosphere to enter. But it doesn't seem to be.
Can I?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, what?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, am I still allowed to talk? Like, is that still, like, a free action?
Sure, go for it.
Okay, so I'm just gonna, like, just coming up behind them, I'm gonna be, like, talking to 1, but she just says, what is your plan? What are you going to do when you find her?
He says, I'm gonna rescue her. What else would I do? And he, it's not his turn yet, but yeah, that's what he says to you. Anything else you'd like to do? The hatch is open, and you can see part of the Halo ship just below, just kind of like dangling on that lightning line.
Yeah, so is it like a hatch, like, have we, like, attached to that piece of the Halo somehow, or do we need, like...
The ship is kind of hovering kind of like right above it. You probably have like a 15-foot drop to the piece of the ship itself. But then
But, like...
Go ahead.
But, like, through, like, space? Like, do we need suits to go out there?
Through space, yes, through space. You know that you can survive in space for a while.
That's cool.
If you can hold, like, as long as you're holding your breath, you can't breathe in space. Yeah. But as long as you hold your breath, you're fine. And each round, essentially, you might take some cold damage, but it's not a significant amount unless you fail miserably.
So,
con save.
From the dash, would I have any movement left?
I'd say you can just jump down, and fall straight to.
Yeah, I'm gonna go then.
Yeah, so you jump out, and you expect to be, fall pretty quick, but you just slowly, almost if feather fall had been cast on, you kind of slowly fall and land on the top of this section of the ship. And I'll say that's probably the end of your turn, to run to the back of the ship and then talk and jump down. 1 is going to jump down with you as well and land, and he is going to kind of leap off the edge of the top, grab on to where it's broken, and swing himself into the piece of the ship. And after that, 8 is going to fire again from the ship. That is a successful hit. That's a good amount of damage.
I like when he rolls more than 1 for damage.
That's, 4d10.
Against a bad thing.
Thank you.
Yes. After that, Diambra can't really do anything. She's trying to pull at the chains so she can kind of help out. But now the Earth Elemental is going to huck 2 more. This time, Christina and Sarah, can you roll a d6 for me?
Yeah.
Six and
3.
3.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, this time, both of them fly out. The first one heads to, it's the same 2 spots.
Yeah.
So 6 gets a rock, and this one just smashes right into the side and kind of bounces off. And you can see a big dent has been made in the metal, but no serious damage has been taken. However, with the one right in front of him, he just takes his fist and smashes down and makes a huge hole in the top of the metal that's there. After that, that's going to bring us back to the top with 7, who's going to attempt to fire again. Actually, at the top of the round, we're going to have everyone roll initiative. Everyone else. As your ship is approaching.
Us?
Yeah, everyone else.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
No.
Good
Good lord.
Well, yeah.
Tita, what do you got?
10.
10.
Initiative?
Oh
Oh,
no. How sad.
your dex is higher than Cooper's, I'm assuming. So you're going to go before
me?
him. Yeah.
What do you need to know?
I mean, as a paladin, I'm assuming her dex is higher.
Like my actual or my
3.
modifier?
Doesn't matter. I know it is.
Doesn't matter. I know
Zaxa?
it's fine.
2.
2? Oh, good.
What?
For you guys at home, it's a 3 minus 1.
Yeah, you didn't-
Christina
following along.
or Plunk.
13.
13 for Plunk. Okay. And Emmy.
Oh,
I
yeah.
rolled an 8, so I
4.
didn't even
4
have
total.
to-
All right.
Yeah.
And your dex is what?
Oh, good lord. 10? Plus
What?
nothing.
Burn-
Oh,
yeah,
that's
no,
not
my
Bernadette's
dex
got you
is
beat,
terrible.
so you're going after her.
Yeah, no, my
Your
dexterity
dexterity is
is
miserable because you're always
I
like
am
half in
drunk
the bag.
all
Wholly in the bag, actually.
time.
Not half
Yeah.
lost.
All right, so 7. He's
Holy
firing out
said
at this
bag.
elemental.
Unless this is going
Misses.
on in the bag.
Minerva, you are up next. You are now on top of. At the end of your turn, if you do not leave the space, then you will have to make a con save for some potential damage. But the way holding your breath works is you have 1 minute plus 1 minute for each point in your what is it, the Constitution score. Sorry, your Constitution bonus. So if your
was gonna say,
Constitution bonus
That's a long
is plus
time.
1, then you can hold your breath for 2 minutes.
So,
For Zaxa,
in that
because-
theory,
yeah, because his he has 1 minute normally, and then he has -1.
If you see water, you're...
water, I'm
No,
fine.
he's fine in water, but in
I
space,
can hold my breath for an hour.
Well,
I will
holding-
say,
holding
Zaxa, I will give you 30 seconds of air.
All right, that is kind. Thank
I
you.
was gonna
In order
say,
to
you
cast
just
a
look at
spell,
something.
you lose 30 seconds of air. And if you take some severe damage, you might lose like 15 seconds, depending. So,
As you gasp.
Cast a spell, I lose
If
all
you have
30
to use
seconds
a-
of air.
a verbal component, correct.
So
Good
you
to know.
can't cast in space.
Untrue. I can.
And then hope you don't die.
And then
As
hope I
long as
don't
he's
die.
like at the doorway of the ship, so he can go
Start
and go.
suffocating. Alright, so 7 fires.
That's
Minerva, what
order.
would you like
Actually,
to
the only
do?
thing would be that,
Alright,
which is only
so-
somatic, which is fine.
I've got like that little thread coming out of the mask. I'm going to follow it
Mm.
as fast as I can.
Yeah, and as you are you crawling across the top, or are you jumping down like one did?
Both going the same place.
You're both on the same floating piece, and where you both landed, he leapt down inside, and you're still on top, like right above where he is.
Whatever's gonna get me there quickest.
Jumping
I just-
in right there would be the quickest for sure.
Yeah, alright, I'll do that then.
So as you jump in, I need an acrobatics check to see if you can throw yourself in easily enough.
That is 11 plus 4.
And that is a
15.
success. You're able to grab onto the edge and kind of swing yourself in right next to one. And as you do, you see this clearish, like a light blue clearish force field that it was there before, holding in your atmosphere. And as you go through it, it just kind of shudders a bit and keeps its form. You know that this is a safety measure for the Halo ship, so that as long as it still has power from that tendril to the main engine room, it can, anytime the ship, a piece of the ship is ripped out or damaged, one of this force field will kind of cover it. However, if the power is lost, it's just open to the elements. So at the moment, you have power. And the two ripped out edges are still, the force field is there and you have air. So now you are inside. I'll say it was half your movement to get in there.
Alright, I'm just going to... I'm gonna dash again to find her.
Yeah, sure. So when you jump in, give me either a history or intelligence check, your choice.
Oh, okay. It is the same modifier for me. Alright. 17 plus 1.
Ooh, 18. All right. You jump down into this part of the ship, and you kind of look around real quick, and you see the door closest to you. You kind of land down into the thin hallway that's on the outer part of this ship. And you can see as you jump in, there's 2 doors on your left, and then way down the hallway, there's another door on the left. So there's 3 doors technically on the left. 2 are pretty close to you. Looking at the doors, you have an idea, knowing this ship pretty well, as it was your ship for quite some time, that the room immediately to your left is a shrine to Ayun. The next room over is Anlum's bedroom.
Oh my god, almond?
Almond's bedroom.
Yeah.
Beyond that is a small passageway that leads to one of those electrical portals that'll teleport you to the engine room.
Mm-hmm.
And then beyond that, you know that the room that's further on is the workshop. So those are the rooms that are in this section that have been ripped apart.
Gotcha.
Listen,
Alright,
almond.
Yeah. I'm just gonna run in whichever direction the thread is going.
The thread pulls you directly into Ayun's shrine.
Okay.
So as you open the door and step inside, you actually see Nolgatim, the cleric of the spite team, or the guild team, sitting there kind of cowering in fear in one of the corners next to one of the shrines. And as you open the door, she looks up and she's like, Minerva?
So
What are you doing here?
Minerva, she closes the door and she runs in and she just kind of kneels down in front of her.
Mhm.
We're not gonna have a lot of time to talk. Do you know who I am? Do you know who you are?
I know that you're Minerva, and I'm Nolgatim. Yeah, of course.
Do you know anything before that?
Well, a bit before.
Does the number 4 mean anything to you?
Not that I know of. No. What is going on, Minerva?
All right, there's someone here looking for you. I don't. There's a lot of people that I don't trust right now, but I don't trust this guy, and he's probably going to come in here within a couple moments. So.
And that's where I'm cutting you off. That's your more than 6 seconds. Is your round of talking. And now at this point, is there anyone that is out in space? No. All right, so we are good to move on. One then busts in that room, following behind you, and he goes, 4. At long last, and he starts to rush over, and you see as he does, he puts his hand into a satchel on his side and pulls out a crystal. And he starts to head over, and he kind of grabs her by one shoulder and lifts her and kind of presses her against the wall and puts this crystal to her forehead and just kind of holds it there for a moment.
That's
And
aggressive.
that's his turn. She is going to try to pull away.
What?
I can't do anything, can I?
No, it's not your turn.
She's
She tries to struggle and pull away, but he is much stronger than her and holds her in place. And you see the crystal begin to kind of glow, and this energy just washes over her entire body. And for a moment, you can't even see her. It's just so bright with radiant light. And as the glow fades, you see her eyes kind of look around and look at you and then look at him. And then that's where we're going to move on to number 8. 8 is going to fire in at this massive earth elemental.
It'll come back around
Yeah, I
again.
know,
Calm
I
down,
know.
guys.
It's just a
I don't
Lindsay
want to wait for the
Susan
commercial
from...
break, guys. I just want
I
to
wanna
know.
know
I want to know now.
Fires out, misses of course, because can't fire these guns for whatever reason. Plonk, your ship has now approached, and you're pulling up. You're pulling up directly in between
Hard
6
pass.
and 5 of
Uh-huh.
these 2 things. And as you're pulling up, you see the ship that escaped Isgard Prime with Minerva. It's hovering over 5, right over here.
Okay.
And as the ship kind of pulls in, Punch is flying it, and you're the first one to catch this glimpse out the side as the ship flies up. What would you like to do?
Sorry.
Very appropriate. Very appropriate.
That's literally what's going to happen. Rush over to the window and be like,
Face
Pressed up
on
against the
window.
glass.
As you do that, you can see that
Can
the
Manny
back
clean
hatch.
it right after that?
She moves and he just comes up with the
squeegee. That's
So
his function. I'm fine.
you see a titan, an earth titan of some sort, on the far side of this debris field, just hucking boulders and smashing a piece that's in front of him.
back up, back up, back up, back up. No,
And
I'm
you
just
see
kidding.
one of the members, you can't make out who it is, but one of the members looks like they're about to drop down onto the same piece that Minerva and one has already gone into. And that's what you see. Is there anything that you'd like to do? You have an action, bonus action?
I'm just kind of like, Minerva, we found him! Like that, kind of freaking out. I don't know what I can do.
Right.
So I'm just kind of freaking out, running back and forth, we found him!
It's like a dog when
I'm
the
just
owner
like the
gets home.
puppy when I'm like,
They're at this window. They're at this window. They're at this window. They're at the door. They're at the door.
Meanwhile, she's running to all these portholes, and Manny just following right behind her, cleaning as he goes. Tita, you are up next. Well, technically it's Diambra, but she's changed. Can't do anything.
Where?
We're all awake
I know,
and
where
paying
am I?
attention.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I mean, we are now.
Yeah, I mean, I
running,
guess,
screaming
right?
on the
Yeah,
ship.
I feel like I can't do anything. Where am I? What's happening? What?
You're on Emmy's ship, and
I know.
Plong starts screaming about Minerva and rocks.
Yep. Big rock guy.
You're good with rocks?
We're heading right toward him. We're heading right toward him. Big rock guy.
Big rock guy. I will obviously, I guess well, she's running all over the place, but I'm gonna go and look as well. I guess look out the window and see what I can see. Do I see
You
anything
see the largest
different?
challenge of a miner's life. This massive earth elemental.
Does the light glimmer off of my axe as I see it? My eye, I'm
Yes.
and then it's there's a little
The extra silvery, shiny metal just kind of. Yeah.
my blade that never gets
Mhm.
scratched. I mean, yeah, I can't really do anything from inside the ship, so I
Alright.
guess
So naturally, you gotta exit the ship.
So,
How long?
what do we have? Obviously, we've got the tour. Do we have any type of little escapey things?
I'd like to think a pirate
Like,
ship.
do we have
There is
like
a
escape pod
transport
things, or,
pod. It doesn't have guns, but there is a transport pod that you
good,
have.
oh,
that
good.
you can fit up to
Um,
8 people.
Does the ship have guns at all?
I would really hope so.
Yeah, you've got one main cannon, you've got 2 side cannons.
I would really
Whether
Oh,
they work
3
or not,
guns.
3
That's
guns.
better than our own ship.
but I would really hope that
Is
they
Ku-
do exist.
Is Kubrick and what's the thing? Punch. Are
Punch.
they still in the?
Oh yeah, they're in the cockpit.
How convenient they're so similarly named.
Cooper and Punch.
Yeah, because I just think Kubrick Punch. But yeah, they would be
They're so
together, I
similarly
think,
named.
right? They'd be co-piloting.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to swivel this thing around. They're waiting on maybe orders as to where you want them to go, but on your turn you can yell at them to move.
Okay.
Do I see Minerva physically or just the
You
ship?
don't see Minerva. No, you
She's,
see the ship she was
inside.
captured and taken
So
away
but
on.
I know that it's that ship.
And you also know that it's the Halo ship in front of you.
Right.
So-
Yeah, I feel like I can't really do anything. I'm just gonna look, maybe. Yeah, just look frantically, kind of what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah. So Tita and Plonk, as you're kind of staring out this window, and Manny's right behind you waiting, you see the two of you see one of the Obsidian Order members drop down from their ship onto that metal, and then try to swing her way in as well, succeeding. Yeah, she gets swings inside, and after that,
right?
it's the huge Earth Elemental. Lauren, if I could have you roll a d6 for me, and Mike as well, please.
Sure. Yeah, I'll give you this one.
6.
6. Wow.
3.
That is
The
crazy.
exact same thing.
So 6 gets, let's
Or
see.
you had 5, right?
No.
You're 5 or 6.
It was-
it's been 3 and 6
Oh,
the whole
last
time.
time
It was
Oh.
3 and 6, and then
It was
3 and
super
6,
lucky.
and now
No,
it's
3 to 6.
6 and 3.
So 6, you see this huge boulder just kind of slam into the side and kind of glance off and keep flying through the
Wait,
air.
some side of what?
One of the pieces,
Oh,
the one that's kind of on the left-hand side of where your ship is.
Okay.
You see, you just take a huge hit and then bounce off and kind of flip over the side of the ship. However, it takes, you see it physically rip off a rock, and then as it's lifting it up to shove it down into the hole that it previously made in the one that's like he's holding onto, you see the rock in his hand kind of curl out into another earth elemental and land inside as he drops it into that piece that's over there. So
Have I ever
2.
seen
It
one of
sprouts
these?
arms and legs and
It
is like,
just-
No, but
Yeah.
have I ever seen anything like this?
No, this is completely
So I'm probably freaking out because when I am like chopping rock with my axe, it's not alive.
right.
So
I was gonna say rocks are coming to life
So
here.
I'm probably having a slight panic attack.
At this point, Bernadette comes running up to where everyone's gathering.
Hey, baby. No, I'm just kidding.
She pulls
Okay.
out her rapier and she's like, "How do I get out of this bucket of bolts? I want to work on this creature."
What?
If I heard her call it a bucket of bolts, I would have smacked her. But I'm just saying.
That's not the concerning part!
She's just waiting there with her rapier, ready to go. Yeah, hey. You can't believe it because that's not what her personality is usually like, but she's running in on this one. Emmy,
How
it's your
many
turn
people
now.
That's not
can
one I
fit
can't
in,
believe
like,
it.
The
the...
transport pod?
Yeah.
8.
8.
She
What?
wants to
8 what?
attack
Oh.
the thing that's out in
Wait,
space.
what?
Right, well then
Yeah.
I'll say,
Yeah.
you know, like, you want to go, Hasmart? Let's go! And then we're all just going to get into
Love
the...
it.
Yeah, she flourishes
If,
the thing.
if
and...
she's going to be like that, then we'll go.
Yeah, she's ready. She's ready. So she runs to the pod.
what? Why are we fighting each other?
What?
Oh no, I'm not going at her. I'm saying if she wants to go and attack.
No,
She's
other
saying
people.
they're
like,
now
I'll go
both
with
you.
going
I'm
to
saying
the
leave.
escape
Then
pod
let's
Yeah.
to
all get
attack
up
the
in
thing
there.
let's
that's
go
in
field
space.
Let's all go.
I thought
Let's go
when you
save
said
the
that,
princess and save the castle and all this garbage all at once. Then let's just go.
Zaxa. What would you like to do?
Am I in the room with these
Oh, yeah.
idiots?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, cool.
Whoa.
So,
pipe down.
May I ask how you think this is going to go? To everyone? You're gonna get in the escape pod
yeah,
and attack the thing out in space.
yeah,
Yeah.
How?
yeah.
With my axe.
Right, so we are in
obviously.
fact
You're gonna
in the
open the
middle
door.
of space, correct? We're just going to try and attack
And
this
like jump
thing.
out.
In space.
How big is this?
May I also ask if my escape pod thing, does it have like something you can speak over?
like a
like
megaphone?
an intercom. It has you can
Ish.
talk to your ship, but it doesn't have like
Like an
a megaphone that you
output.
can.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright.
man.
Interesting.
Hashtag Hoobers who hoop.
So thanks, Bernadette, for that idea.
Yeah.
So
That was for you, babe.
what at this point, would I know that this ship has guns? I've been on it for a few
Right,
days.
yeah.
You know.
Cool. So you two,
Mhm.
if I recall, were pretty good with the guns on the last ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should man those guns.
So like, where is that?
Where are the guns?
She's already gone.
Yo, where the guns are. Yeah.
Why do you have to
Wait, do I assume that they're in
Where's
the cockpit?
Rocky?
Well, one you know from seeing on the outside, there's one on the top of the ship, one on the left-hand side of the ship, and one on the right-hand side of the ship. So you're assuming that you would need to get to one side of the ship to find it,
Where am I currently?
in the middle of the ship.
Oh, great.
Where's Rocky?
Why?
You would know where the guns are.
That's true. That's true. Rocky would know.
Rocky Wood and...
You know, let's see if Rocky is in the room nearby in the lounge. He is. He's in the room.
Nice!
I'm right over here.
Yeah. Where's the guns?
There's a gun. I can show you.
Okay, let's go. Let's
Yeah.
run.
He's
Let's
got-
run there together.
Snap, I should have thought of something first. McDagger is clearly still on the ship. I probably should have told him
'Cause
to
he'll
take
just be
care
like,
of everybody. That was left. But I did.
You haven't made it to the pod yet. You're almost there. So if you can yell out for him, maybe he'll come. We'll see.
So
All right. Well, it's
I
my
guess
turn.
that'll be
I
my
just
turn
make
is
it
telling them
noise.
that they should man the guns.
Yeah, we're following Rocky. We got it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We're running. We're running together because I know he'd just be like.
Yeah.
All right. So after
Plunk is
After
piggybacking,
Zakla.
and I am like.
Oh, and then if I could
swiftly running down
work
the
my way to the cockpit.
okay,
After.
sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Head up to
This
the
sounds
cockpit. So
like
you're
the
gonna see
worst
Cooper?
fight on a
I
dare
am.
that
Oh,
anybody
oh,
ever
sorry.
would
And
have
punch.
been involved
Oh, yeah, of
in.
course.
Like the blind leading the blind
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh yeah.
This is gonna go terribly.
Ah, yes.
All right. So we are now back at the top of the round with 7. 7 is going to fire out at this this guy.
Good
Get him.
lord, this
Guy
is gonna be
missed
a
horribly.
while. I'm like the
So-
last for initiative.
I had you go already, right?
No, I'm,
okay.
I'm
yeah.
just saying that
Minerva.
to wait ever so patiently.
You are up next. You see that 4 in this small shrine has pushed. Sorry, you see 1 has pushed 4 up against the wall and has laid this crystal against her forehead. She was enveloped in radiant light, and it is starting to fade away as she was struggling to get away. And as it faded, she kind of looked at you and him with a confused face.
He took her memory.
Or gave it back?
What would you like to do?
Oh.
Or
Hi.
neither.
Fair. No. I feel like one of us is right.
The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna look at my friend and just say, like, Nalgatane? Are you? She doesn't finish her sentence though, and she's going to. I want her to hold an action, but I don't know what I want her to hold.
That's a good point. All right, yeah, good point. Good point.
I think
Predicament right there.
she's going to hold a dash in case the two of them leave.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
But then she's gonna look at one and be like, "What did you do?"
And it's his turn. So he's gonna turn to you and be like,
She now remembers me, my wife number 4.
and he steps back from her, and the crystal just falls from his hand and shatters on the ground. And she then looks to you and said, "Oh, you. The question you asked was what? Something about your friend, right?"
She didn't really even ask a question. She was gonna ask, like, "Are you okay?" But she kind of didn't finish her question and turned to one and was like, "What did you do?"
As she kind of shakes her head off and like looks to you for a second with concerned eyes, she looks to one and then leaps into his arms and just starts kissing him. And then number 8 fires again at the
Come on, number 8.
oh my god, nope.
Try it.
Cannot hit this thing. It's massive, taking up a huge part
Alright.
of space.
You guys there's not a high bar to beat here, alright?
Plonk,
You guys got this.
You're up next. Rocky's like,
Come on, take it there.
and he starts running, and he's like,
There's one right here.
Thanks!
You're not even there. You see in the distance.
you
You're like,
guys
"Hey,
just get each other. It's so cute.
so you get in there, and
I just like run past him. I'm like, thanks!
you sit down. The controls are different from what you're used to from the gun 792, but
press all of them."
you think you might be able to get it.
Okay.
Roll an intelligence check.
Okay.
The worst. We're doing
19.
19.
Yeah.
Okay.
good. This is good.
Yeah, that's very. Yeah.
Now let me ask you, did you roll a 19?
No, I rolled an 18.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you look at this thing, and yeah, it's a little different, but it has the same basic
I got it.
components to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you start priming it up, getting it ready. Are you firing?
Oh, yeah.
Do it up. Roll a d20, add 5.
17.
17. All right. That absolutely hits. Oh, and by absolutely I mean just.
It's
So this
still
fires out. As the two side guns are a bit smaller than the main cannon, it's going to be 3d10 damage. Radiant damage.
Okay.
Damage. Get it, girl.
18.
Good math. Good
24.
math. I can math.
24 damage. Nice.
Tease.
The 0 is 10.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's looking rough. You blast a huge section out of its side, and you can just see like crumbles of rock begin to start to fall from where you blasted it.
Do those come alive as they
They
fall?
don't. No, they
Okay,
don't.
okay.
Luckily for all of you. All right, Plonk, that was your turn.
Can I do like a bonus action?
Yeah, absolutely. If you have a bonus action you'd like to do, sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump up and down.
Diamra is going to try to pull the chains loose from the wall because she's sick of being stuck here, not being able to do anything. Natural 20, baby! Natural 20! She just kind of wraps the chain around one arm and puts all her strength into it, and you just... and the thing breaks, and she starts looking around and runs to the other side of the room looking for weapons.
I love my butt friend.
Tita,
Yes.
you are up next.
Oh, I'm obviously following. I followed, so I'm going to another shooting thing.
So you get to like where Rocky pointed, and he turns around after showing her and sees you there, and he's like,
You need one too?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the main one.
and he starts running back toward the middle of the ship, and he gets you there, and he kind of points, and you see a little hatch in the roof with a little ladder. You can climb up. You get inside, prepare yourself, intelligence check to see if you can discern how these guns work.
Ooh, but you see, the thing is, you actually rolled a 15.
Yes!
Oh!
Thanks, baby.
What was the first roll?
I rolled an 8.
Just so everyone knows. All right.
I rolled an 8. I have no bonus.
So you used one of your 2 portents to give her a 15.
I did. Yes.
Fantastic. That is a success.
Thank God.
So
I
you
was
look
really
at this
hoping.
thing, and at first you look at it and you're like, oh,
This is way different.
and then you kind of like study it for a second, and you're like, all right, I got this. And if you'd like, you can fire.
Of course. Of course.
So go ahead. You can make a d20 roll plus 5.
15.
15. That is. You're firing at the big guy,
I'm firing
right?
at the, I don't know. What can I fire at?
Unfortunately,
What else can I
no.
fire at?
There's, well,
Just
you
that
could
big
just
thing.
the
No, that's
ships, you know.
Oh, no.
You could fire at the other guy's ship too.
We don't know.
No,
Minerva
because
is
yeah,
there.
no,
That's true.
she's probably.
Unfortunately, your beam right past this thing, and it just barely misses. It kind of ducks its head down.
I had to save it for
It was like,
knowing how shit.
At grabbing its side, and as it ducked down to grab its side, your beam just fired over its head. Kubrick, on the other hand,
Yes!
and Punch are going to attempt to get the ship. You didn't give them any commands for that, right?
Say
About
what now?
where you want the ship. You didn't give them commands.
Not as of yet, but I want to be within 30 feet of whatever's going on.
Okay, because you're currently hovering right about here on this map, and they aren't sure if you want them to move to one of these pieces or get closer to fire at this thing, or like what the situation is, or head to the middle. They're just kind of right here.
All right.
The big other bad guy ship is hovering above this right here as well.
Obviously, the nature of my character wouldn't care and would just nudge in.
Mm-hmm.
So we would just be slowly proctoring.
You try to nudge into the middle section there.
Yeah, something. We need to take over something.
Yeah.
We can't just have us sneaking in and not gaining anything.
Yeah. So Kubrick maneuvers, and he gets right above the center, the main centerpiece of the Halo ship. That'll be his turn. Him and Punch.
Okay.
Get to that.
Oh, these guys are working together now. This is so cute.
Well, it's detrimental. There's all kinds of craziness
Ew,
going on.
gross! Am I gonna hire a co-pilot? Oh. Oh, I need to be friends with him now?
Oh no, he's our regular pilot, and we're not friends with him.
Yeah, that's
Oh, all right. So will you be taking him, or do I need to be friends?
Well-
Or just said, this is a talk that we can have over some crepes later. This is not a big deal. Just so long as he gets me close.
Now, Minerva, you just saw this scene where 4 jumped into the arms of 1 in a loving embrace. And as that happens, coming in through the door is 2. She has her staff ready, just kind of pointing in the direction of all of you. And she says, everything okay in here, 1? And he just kind of turns his head.
All good. 4 is back. Let's get out of here before we're killed.
And he begins to look like he's about to start heading out. That's going to bring us to the huge elemental guy. Here we go. It's Priya and Christina. D6 rolls, please.
And so strong.
2. Oh, something different. 2. All right.
6.
Woohoo! We're doing good.
I'm about to start rolling these.
Ripping it up right
It's not
here.
necessarily good to always roll 6, guys.
I didn't mean to.
right.
I thought that was a good number.
So
Also, I'm very happy in the fact that our ship is not numbered.
yeah, you see a huge boulder fly toward a section of the Halo ship that's kind of off to the left-hand side. You see it smash through one of the windows and just kind of do some damage to that. You can see atmosphere now starting to get sucked into. Well, actually, as the atmosphere begins to get sucked in, the force field, because there's still power to it, over the window. And then the second one is slams into the side of 6, which is the one that is right next to your ship. A boulder comes flying and slams into the side of that. And you see a big hole in the hull, and the rock is kind of stuck there and slowly begins to float away. Actually, as it begins to float away, an arm sticks out, a second one, and then it pulls its elemental form into that part of the ship in 6. And that now brings us to Bernadette and Emmy. The 2 of you have run over to the transport pod.
You're like saying,
got
"Oh."
there, so that's cool.
Yeah.
She was like, this is gonna take forever, and now it's back to her, and she's like, I did that?
How far away is this elemental beast?
From where you are
What
currently
is walking about?
on the ship, you are about, I'd say, close to 80 to 100 feet away.
That's too far. Okay.
Well, that's unfortunate.
All right. Well, I'd like to spend a bonus action and use my mantle of inspiration so that everybody's gonna be cool when we land this thing. Is anybody else with me in this pod?
At the
just
moment,
me
it's
and
just you and
Bernadette.
Bernadette, so I don't know if you want to use that yet, because they have to be within, 30 feet of you to gain the benefits?
Yes.
All right, yeah. So it's
Are
up to
they
you.
not near me?
No, they've
Nobody's
gone to
coming
gun
with
decks.
me. What is wrong with
Zach-
I
people?
went to the
Shoot
cockpit.
stuff.
They went to shoot stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
he yelled
they
at us
want
to
to
go
shoot stuff. All right, and you're in the cockpit.
I mean,
All
no,
right.
I really want to get out, but I'm going to shoot stuff right now. So.
I feel like that would be a bad idea.
You think that, but you never know.
I want to take my pickaxe thing at this.
I
live
feel
rock.
like I should bring you with me. Like this would only be. It would only make sense to me.
You can, over the intercom, say
You don't
something
have
if
to
you
listen
want.
to me. I just suggested you guys do the
Tell
shooting
people
since you
to
did
get
before.
your asses over here if you want.
Tita, can I please have you report to the escape pod? Tita, I repeat, can I have you report to the escape pod?
It's like, teacher, please go to the principal's office. Teacher.
Tita, you hear that?
You are not in trouble, I guarantee.
How far
Yet.
away is the thing? Is the pod from where I'm at?
The pod, it's probably going to take... if you use a key point, you can get there in 1 turn.
Now, what if I told
you can
her
triple move.
that I have somebody can man that for me? I'm sure there's some.
Oh, yeah, you can
I'm
send
sure
Rocky
there's
up there if
Like,
you want.
you'll
Yeah.
be fine if you want to come with me,
If
and
you
I
wanna
can
tell
just have Guy take care of it.
Guy?
Yeah. The guy.
Yeah. You just reach out and just say, hey, yo, Guy.
Yeah, no, this all makes sense. At least he's there.
Yeah.
He knows what I'm saying. He can do it. Not the best, but he's gonna do it.
They can do it. might not the best.
So yeah, you yell out for
Because
Guy.
I need
I don't
you
know who
with
Guy
me,
is.
because I'm not there in the
I
ships.
written
I
down.
don't care.
All right. Bernadette is like,
Oh, I'm sorry. May I also ask my little buddy to keep an eye on anybody that's in the ship?
oh yeah, absolutely. You want to do that over the intercom as well?
Would he not be near? No, he wouldn't be near me.
I think the last thing you did was send him off to scurry and watch people.
Oh, then he's still keeping an eye on
Yeah,
people.
he's still keeping
So
an
he's
eye on
keeping
people.
an eye
Yeah,
on
yeah,
everyone.
yeah. He's
So
doing
he's
what you originally
he's
told him to do.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Keeping tabs.
So everyone else go about their general business.
Perfect. Bernadette is sitting there impatiently. She's kind of tossing her rapier and then pulling it back to her hand, just waiting to go. She tosses it.
I'll just make a face oh, yeah, okay, yep.
She feels
Ooh,
like
you're
Bernadette
so
when you feel
tough.
like
Zaxa, you go running into the cockpit and you see Punch and Kubrick there, and they're trying to maneuver, and you see one of them working on getting shields up, and they're doing a bunch of stuff, and he kind of turns Kubrick, and he's like, yeah, what's going on, Zaxa?
Ah, well, I see that you already know the situation we're in.
Yeah, I can see. I've got eyes. Over. Yeah. Yeah.
Rude.
Well, this is the ship that Minerva was... I don't know that Minerva was on the ship. I didn't see her. It was only... Well, no, Plonky screamed
Plonky-
Minerva, so...
Yeah, you know. You saw the ship, too. You know it's the ship of the
Yeah.
Obsidian Order.
We need to get Minerva.
Yeah.
So,
Do you know where she is?
I would assume either on the ship or on the thing that's next to that ship.
All right, well, that doesn't help me. I need to know where I need to go.
But you said you have eyes. You didn't see where she went.
I didn't see her. No, I don't know where she is. All right, I think that's, unless you want to make an action or something, that's probably as good as you can get for talking.
How intact does the section that their ship... It's not connected, but it's close
above.
enough that I'm assuming they're trying to dock there.
That's actually the largest part of the halo that's still intact. You see the lightning tendril that comes across, the electrical tendril, and it's kind of anchored right in the center of this long curved piece. It looks like from when you were inside, and you have a fantastic memory, so you would probably remember this. Seeing the length and size of each room, you would assume that is 2 large rooms or maybe a few small rooms worth of ship.
Okay.
And that's what they're hovering above.
Can you get me within 60 feet of that piece?
Of course I can. I think we're pretty close to that already.
Oh.
Yeah, you're about. I would say you're probably 50 feet from their ship and maybe 65 feet from the actual opening to that. So he's like, if you want, I can get you a little closer.
That... Oh, I'm sorry. 30 feet.
Yeah, I can move you closer. It's going to take me a second. We got to remaneuver.
That is fine. Do not put us in danger to do this.
All right, you got it. Keep my eyes out, because I have them.
Because I
am so
Oh,
glad
man.
that he does not
Oh,
have
man.
it right now.
If I didn't need his help right now.
Literally
Stupid
so
dad
glad
jokes
of
will
it.
be right at home on my ship.
Okay, when I get a diamond, he's gonna be the one I test this spell out on.
Okay,
I don't
so
wanna waste all my key points
after
to find
Zaxa,
it.
Steven is going to fire again at this thing. He's going to just barely succeed.
It's about time.
Right? The big guy, the big elemental, is looking real bad at this point. He's got pieces of rock that are just crumbling and falling off. He's trying to hold himself together. Not looking great. But Minerva, it's your turn. Right now, 2 is blocking the doorway. She's kind of in the doorway. And then 1 is holding 4, just like in a big bear hug type embrace. And you are probably 5-10 feet away from them. It's not a big room.
Alright. She's just gonna talk for now, I guess. Noel, you need to listen to me, and you need to listen to me right now. Whoever you remember him being, that's not him anymore. This isn't the man you married. He doesn't help people anymore. He's just... I've seen him torture people, Nolg. He's He's not who you think he is. You have to trust me.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Oh.
Yeah.
Stupid crystal.
Crystals, they're always...
And then as you say that, one kind of like barks in your direction. He's like,
You don't know anything about me.
Ew, oh, he's right
With
there.
disadvantage, that's a 9 plus 2.
Okay.
11.
She looks at you and she says, 6. My name is not Nulgatine. It is 4. And once we're able to get your memory back, you will understand as well. Azazel is not who you think he is.
Yeah, and I've been beginning to suspect that too, but neither is he. And she points at one. No matter what you decide to do, we're not just going to leave the rest of our friends, are we? You have to at least help them first before you decide to run off with someone that you only just remembered.
I'll see what I can do. And then that is going to be at the end of your turn, unless you have an action that you'd like to complete, because that is your verbal portion of this.
I am going to hold an attack until/if 2 attacks anything.
Okay. If 2 attacks anything, okay.
He was the one coming in hot.
Yeah.
With his staff or whatever.
She.
Coming in hot.
Coming in hot. 1 and 4. One puts 4 down, and the two of them both turn and kind of push past 2. And they continue to head down the corridor, not back the way they came in, but further down to look into other rooms to see if there are any other people. But they begin to head that way, and on 2's turn, she seems like she's about to follow as well. 8 is going to fire at this earth elemental.
Just give it up.
Miss horribly.
It's huge. How can they be missing it?
Maybe it's on purpose. You have no idea.
It's like movies when people shoot guns and nothing ever hits anybody.
Nothing hit him.
They're stormtroopers.
100 times worst
Nothing.
aim ever. You're like,
No.
They're stormtroopers. That's what it is.
Yeah.
How
I
did you
have
get
the
this
bad
job?
guy.
Yeah. Plonk. It is your turn. This thing is looking
shoot
really
it again!
bad.
Shoot it again! No, I'm just kidding.
It's looking real bad.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot it again.
Fire away. D20 plus 5.
This one. Come on! 18.
That hits. Roll some damage. 3d10.
Stop dancing. Roll some damage.
That's your bonus action. Wait till later.
18.
18.
8.
So you fire. You look, you aim as carefully as you can, and you fire. And this thing shoots out. And you see direct shot right in between its eyes, exploding its head, if that's what you want to call it, into a ton of pieces. The body falls limp, and as all the rocks and debris begin to scatter and fall, you see a few of the rocks kind of out into arms and legs and just begin to fly toward parts of the ship.
Fantastic.
So they are going to fly.
Will you quit it with the head slicing thing?
I did it.
Then you shoot the medium one. That splits into 2 more guys.
Yeah.
All right, so you see 3 of these smaller elementals burst out from the rock and kind of fly out in different directions. You see one of them land in that centerpiece, which is the main engine room. You see one land far on the opposite side of the battlefield on a different one, and then you see one land at the far end of the piece that the other ship is hanging over. So
Okay.
the 5th section, the largest section.
Where Minerva is?
Where Minerva is, but you don't know Minerva's there. You just know that the
But
her
I know
ship is
that
there.
the ship is there, so that's where
Correct.
Minerva is.
Correct. So you see this thing crumble and just fall
Stop
around.
metagaming.
Bits of
No,
rock fall and
That's where Plonk associates the ship with Minerva. So if the ship is there, Minerva is there. Like,
it makes sense. A simple mind, you know.
She's got a +1.
Yeah.
Not so simple.
Okay, so Plonk, after you do that and you see this thing crumble down into tons of little pieces and these other ones fly off, it is now Diambra's turn, and she is going to rush over and see what she can find for weaponry. There's no armor that she can don quickly, but she does find a short sword and a shield. Make sure that I can
Good.
add that to short sword and shield. And then she heads to the hatch. And then it's going to be her
I
turn.
can't believe there are
Tita.
3 paladins in this game, and I respect one of them.
Wait, hold on. Oh, who's the third one?
Kubrick.
Yeah, we got Kubrick. We got
That's not the one you respect.
Kiara,
yeah. Who else?
Kubrick, the Umbra, and Almond.
Oh, Almond. Yeah,
Almond.
I forgot about Almond.
Oh, almond.
Don't worry, everyone does.
Almond.
Almond. Almonds.
I don't remember who Almond is.
The
You
guy
don't
that she
remember
hates
who
from her
Almond
little group.
is.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, that's not his
He's the
name.
one that's mean to me.
Yeah.
All right, so it is now. Let's see what we got. There's so many people going here. We
All
got
I
Clark,
remember
the Amber.
is in the beginning.
Tita.
Yeah.
You
You're
say,
up next.
listen,
Oh, well, I
Almond.
heard the...
Oh yeah, you
I
heard
was
Emmy.
paged via the loudspeaker.
Yes.
So, I am obviously going to get to where the escape pod.
So you're just
where
gonna
Emmy
book
is.
it. Are you
Yeah.
using action, bonus action, and movement to get there? Because if you do, you'll make it. If not, then you'll make it in the next turn.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just...
Whole turn.
Yeah. I'm sweating. My antennae are starting to come up a little bit.
Kubrick and Punch begin to maneuver the ship so that it is getting closer. Did you tell them to get closer to the Obsidian Order ship or that piece of the Halo ship? They're pretty much the same, but I want to know like what height you want to be at.
I would want to go to the piece. Because if the ship is there, it stands to reason they'd be trying to get to that piece.
Right.
So I would want to get close to that piece.
All right. So you're gonna have Kubrick kind of circle and maneuver around so you can be on the other end of it.
I want him to get to an area that has a window that I can see through.
Okay. Yeah. There are a couple windows, so he can do that. And as he pulls you up to the window, make a perception check. It's going to be at disadvantage because there is very little that you can see through that window.
Of course it is. Well, I see nothing through the window.
Oh.
What's
What's the number? The total number?
Oh, the total number. Are you sure you just don't want the 1 on the dice?
The one. All right. Yeah. Never mind then. So yeah,
Total number's a 2, by the way.
It's dark. You can't really make anything out, even with dark vision. You see like a shadow pass by at one point, but
I don't have dark vision.
you don't have dark vision, so you really can't see much at all.
I also don't have dark vision.
But at this point, the earth elementals
But
go.
somehow...
And the only one that I believe is near people is the one kind of near you, Minerva, which 1 and 4 have just left. So you hear, and as you pop your head outside the door, kind of past 2, you can see a smaller earth elemental charging toward 1 and 4, and it will make an attack against, or 2 attacks against them. What you see, Minerva, is you see vines whip out and attempt to wrap around number 4.
Oh, scary.
But she is able to dodge and throw herself against the wall to dodge out of the way, but it does throw a rock at number 1, and it misses. Just kind of, he ducks out of the way. Or he's just so buff that it slams onto his chest and just hits the ground and does nothing, bounces off. After the earth elementals, we have 2. She whips around and she's going to fire a blast of energy at this earth elemental. Where's 2? She is. You see, not much that she can do, man. You see, you see this little globule of acid fly forward, and it does not save, so that splashes all over this elemental. And it suffers some damage.
Alright, and since she attacked, does that trigger my action?
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Awesome. Alright, so, how many feet away is it?
You're probably about 35 feet away.
Oh,
down
okay,
the
so
hall.
I'm just gonna take out the crossbow and try to shoot the little earth guy.
I think, double check this, but if you'd like, I believe you can spend a bonus action to move your hunter's mark onto a different creature.
I can, but This is only, like, I'm only doing something now because I held an action. I didn't think I could do a
Right.
bonus action.
It's just a reminder
but-
for your next turn.
Oh, yeah, no, I remember that.
Okay,
but,
cool.
yeah, so for this, I'm just gonna try to shoot it with the crossbow. That's an 11 plus 6, 17.
17 hits, yeah.
Fantastic. Alright, and that's gonna be... It's gonna be 11 points of piercing damage.
All right. So when your bolt slams into its chest, you see it hits and it kind of bounces off a bit. It definitely does some damage, but it doesn't seem to do as much as you would hope against his rocky exterior.
It's a rock.
It's a rock.
It's a rock.
All right, so after that held action, huge elemental is dead. Bernadette is like, Emmy, when are we leaving? I would like to deal with some of this action before it is over.
Is my guest of honor arrived?
He just got there, but you haven't left yet. He ran into the pod.
swooped in
on
as
your-
he
on
ran.
your-
I would say it was time to go.
Yeah. So are you flying the ship and to where?
Well, I mean, I feel like I have to neutralize this earth elemental business.
Well, the big one's gone.
Yeah, well.
He's gone. So at that point, like, I realized that the thing was just attacking all of us. It doesn't really matter. I
Yeah.
clearly need to go to the ship that Minerva's on.
Oh, so that's where you're heading? It's
At
not
this
too far
point,
from you.
My
It's-
apologies. Like, I thought I was calling you for a rock formation, and yet I'm calling you for some other creatures. So I apologize, but...
Well, if you'd like, you can fly your transport ship right out to that ship and attempt to...
We are very
gain
close
access
to that
it.
ship now.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Very close. Yeah.
That's what I'm-
So you fly
that's
out,
what
you
I'm going
maneuver right above it, and I feel like, yeah, you'd have movement still if you want. You can jump down on top if you'd like.
Would I? No, I would not be going first. I am driving.
Bernadette jumps
So
out.
somebody with better dexterity is gonna have to jump out of this
Bernadette
thing.
leaps down on top, and she kind of like gains their balance and looks for the hatch, sees it, and starts heading over. And the end of her turn will be lifting up the hatch.
She's on top of their ship
Of
now.
their ship now.
Okay.
Is that the end of your turn?
I suppose that would.
Why? Why is
I don't know
she,
that I have really.
Why is she going to the ship? All she wanted was a way off the planet. What is she doing?
Bernadette, all Bernadette wanted, as far as I know, your friend wanted this person off of that ship.
Oh yes, that's what we
And
heard.
with you
Bernadette
guys. So
access
I'm
to
just
some ship to
figuring,
get the
all
hell
right.
out of here. So
She already does. It's her friend's
Yeah.
ship.
Well, guess what, Zoxa? It's your turn, so you can decide what you'd like to do right now.
Perfect. First of all, I would like to ask you, is there any part of this long piece that is 60 feet away from my current position?
60 feet away. No, the whole thing is close
That
enough.
is amazing news. So, because of my terrible perception, and I cannot see in there, I cannot Misty Step in there, but what I can do is cast Unseen Servant in there, because I don't have to see, it just has to be in an unoccupied space 60 feet away.
Nice.
Or
Good
within 60 feet.
one. I don't have that kind of range. Nice.
So I will teleport this man.
Nice.
I will take out a bit of string and of wood. That's exactly how it's
like
worded.
you do.
Like
you do.
Sometimes they need a piece of felt.
And I will
We all have
somehow,
our thing.
I don't know, I'll tie them together and do a thing with it. I don't know how that works
You
with
just
the
do it.
somatic.
You just
do it.
And I say, Ossether Vion, and cast him into the thing.
Here, yes, right inside one of the windows, I assume?
Yes.
Okay.
And I can now spend a bonus action with my brain to tell him a task, which is to tell Minerva we're here.
Okay. And is that your turn?
That will be my turn.
Fantastic. Now that it is the end of the round, we are going to take a quick break from this battle, and we will come back after these messages. And these messages are the word. The word for a t-shirt today is the word earth. Because they are fighting earth elementals. Earth, RTH, and
I
we
forgot
will
how to
see
spell
you
Earth.
after the break. Enter that into the chat if you'd like a free t-shirt, and we are going right now. Bye. We'll be back.
Woo!
What do you want to know about me exactly? My name is Minerva, I come from the planet Isgard, and I'm very good at finding things. That's about it. Alright, fine. I'll explain a little bit more. I'm not necessarily a bounty hunter, but I do travel across the galaxy in pursuit of different targets. The galaxy is a very big place. There are many wondrous things, of course, but with the good sometimes comes the bad. I eliminate the bad before it becomes a larger problem. I work for an organization called the Galactic Utility Intelligence Logistics Task Force, also known as GILT. Great name, huh? We're a rather undercover group, inconspicuously keeping watch over the many planets, pinpointing any threats that may arise and disrupt the safety of civilians. The majority of GILT is essentially a surveillance system that relays information back to our leader. However, when a threat to the people does arise, be it an angry monstrosity or an ancient fiend, that's when my team intervenes. We are a subset of GILT, known as the Special Protection Investigative Tactical Exploration Team, or the SPITE team for short. There are 6 ASMR on this team, including myself, each one of us with a different skill set. I contribute the ability to track down our target once we're in its proximity. I'm not bad with a blade or two either. Working with the team is alright. I wouldn't call all of them friends, but they are the people I'm closest to. Whenever we're not investigating a galactic threat, we're most likely just passing time on our starship. For me, this mostly means I'm in our training room, running through various simulations to keep my skills in good condition. I also enjoy a good game of cards every now and then. However, for some reason I'm always quite bad at trivia night.
So, I guess I'm supposed to be like talking about myself or whatever. I mean, I don't know, Green. I'm pretty boring. All I do is work and blow glass pipes. I mean, with that, I smoke a ton of moss in my off hours. Pretty much working all the time, though. Come from a long line of vaders. That means excavators. My family has worked with a deep organization for like hundreds of aeons. Oh, I should probably tell you what the hell that is, huh? DEEP stands for the Discovery, Excavation, and Expansion of Pandemonium Passageways. We're a little more progressive than those other vaders, the dry green hierarchy of excavation mining. No one wants to work for them. Frelin pieces are friend. Oh, sorry, shouldn't be swearing, Green. So, back to my job. I mean, I'm pretty good at it. Kinda hard not to be when you've been basically bred for it. Got my great-granddad T-Sip's pickaxe right here. Probably wouldn't think by looking at me, but I'm a little quicker than most. Even got promoted to work dust detail. That's the development of the underground super tunnels. I know, far out, right? One time I got off draft Green, came out in this crazy big moss patch. Totally wild. Met this Formian. Thrives and boards don't usually vibe Green. I dig him though, we grew close. He's the Dren, the real Frelin Dren.
Growing up, I lived in a small clan of Verdun. My ancestors were goblins who left their planet to live amongst elven communities. The relocation was hard for them. It took a while getting used to their new planet, but once they got the hang of farming, it was all uphill from there. I was never as good of a farmer as they were, though. All I wanted to do was play. Hide and seek or squink. It's kind of like capture the flanc. Those are my favorite. I love the adrenaline I get from a good hunt. Waking up to your farmhouse engulfed in flames in the middle of the night, all you can do is run. When my village of Minerva was destroyed by a swarm of ravenous pixies, I had no idea if I would even survive. Racing out of my smoke-filled home I grew up in, I ran straight to the barn. Mama always taught me to keep a pack of supplies ready in case anything happened. Just grab your pack and go, she'd always say. So I did, and a good thing that I did too. Disappearing quickly was what saved my life. Since then, I've lost all contact with my family. I don't even know if they're alive. The small group of us that got out went to live in the closest elven city, Mithrandane. This is my home now, and I have to say, it was tough getting accustomed to the way of life here. They're not a farming community, so it was hard to find work. I didn't know what I was good at. I thought back to my time in Minerva and what I enjoyed back then. Then it hit me. I love the thrill of the chase. I can do that. Becoming a spy is the best thing that's ever happened to me. But I have to say it's a little bittersweet. Working for the royal families, doing a job I love, is like a dream come true. I couldn't be happier, but I'm only able to do so because of the misfortune of my village. I'm hoping my hard work will make my ancestors proud.
Cycle 12. Strange-looking creatures appeared today in the North City Square. These aliens called themselves elves. Their pointy ears and flowing hair intrigue me. They speak of different lands, impossible lands. Those without water, or those filled with fantastic creatures. I must learn more about them. Cycle 39. Each cycle since the arrival of the elves, the Dalcan people have attempted to duplicate their extraordinary effects, but to no avail. I reach my 40th cycle soon. Finally, I will be able to lead my own studies. Cycle 66. Without the elves' odd tricks, we have now resorted to building our own way to travel to other planets. The technology they seem to have is many cycles out of our reach. Even so, I believe there are other ways off this planet. Cycle 100. My excavation begins today at Zirathu City ruins. Managing to rope in both Vudila and Zixat into my hypothesis, I have much to discover. Not even the elves know what lies beyond the impossible depths. I know I will find answers there.
What do you want to know about me exactly? My name is Minerva, I come from the planet Isgard, and I'm very good at finding things. That's about it. Alright, fine. I'll explain a little bit more. I'm not necessarily a bounty hunter, but I do travel across the galaxy in pursuit of different targets. The galaxy is a very big place. There are many wondrous things, of course, but with the good sometimes comes the bad. I eliminate the bad before it becomes a larger problem. I work for an organization called the Galactic Utility Intelligence Logistics Task Force, also known as GILT. Great name, huh? We're a rather undercover group, inconspicuously keeping watch over the many planets, pinpointing any threats that may arise and disrupt the safety of civilians. The majority of GILT is essentially a surveillance system that relays information back to our leader. However, when a threat to the people does arise, be it an angry monstrosity or an ancient fiend, that's when my team intervenes. We are a subset of GILT, known as the Special Protection Investigative Tactical Exploration Team, or the SPITE team for short. There are 6 ASMR on this team, including myself, each one of us with a different skill set. I contribute the ability to track down our target once we're in its proximity. I'm not bad with a blade or two either. Working with the team is alright. I wouldn't call all of them friends, but they are the people I'm closest to. Whenever we're not investigating a galactic threat, we're most likely just passing time on our starship. For me, this mostly means I'm in our training room, running through various simulations to keep my skills in good condition. I also enjoy a good game of cards every now and then. However, for some reason I'm always quite bad at trivia night.
So, I guess I'm supposed to be like... talking about myself or whatever? I mean, I don't know, Green. I'm pretty boring. All I do is work and blow glass pipes. I mean, with that, I smoke a ton of moss in my off hours. Pretty much working all the time, though. Come from a long line of vaders. That means excavators. My family has worked with a deep organization for like hundreds of aeons. Oh, I should probably tell you what the hell that is, huh? DEEP stands for the Discovery, Excavation, and Expansion of Pandemonium Passageways. We're a little more progressive than those other vaders, the dry green hierarchy of excavation mining. No one wants to work for them. Frelin pieces of friend. Oh, sorry, shouldn't be swearing, Green. So, back to my job. I mean, I'm pretty good at it. Kinda hard not to be when you've been basically bred for it. Got my great-granddad T-Sip's pickaxe right here. Probably wouldn't think by looking at me, but I'm a little quicker than most. Even got promoted to work dust detail. That's the development of the underground super tunnels. I know, far out, right? One time I got off draft cream, came out in this crazy big moss patch. Totally wild. Met this Formian. Thrives and boards don't usually vibe cream. I dig him though, we grew close. He's the drag, the real Frelin drag.
Growing up, I lived in a small clan of Verdun. My ancestors were goblins who left their planet to live amongst elven communities. The relocation was hard for them. It took a while getting used to their new planet, but once they got the hang of farming, it was all uphill from there. I was never as good of a farmer as they were, though. All I wanted to do was play. Hide and seek or squink. It's kind of like capture the flanc. Those are my favorite. I love the adrenaline I get from a good hunt. Waking up to your farmhouse engulfed in flames in the middle of the night, all you can do is run. When my village of Minerva was destroyed by a swarm of ravenous pixies, I had no idea if I would even survive. Racing out of my smoke-filled home I grew up in, I ran straight to the barn. Mama always taught me to keep a pack of supplies ready in case anything happened. Just grab your pack and go, she'd always say. So I did, and a good thing that I did too. Disappearing quickly was what saved my life. Since then, I've lost all contact with my family. I don't even know if they're alive. The small group of us that got out went to live in the closest elven city, Mithrandane. This is my home now, and I have to say, it was tough getting accustomed to the way of life here. They're not a farming community, so it was hard to find work. I didn't know what I was good at. I thought back to my time in Mindroptown and what I enjoyed back then. Then it hit me. I love the thrill of the chase. I can do that. Becoming a spy is the best thing that's ever happened to me. But I have to say it's a little bittersweet. Working for the royal families, doing a job I love, is like a dream come true. I couldn't be happier. But I'm only able to do so because of the misfortune of my village. I'm hoping my hard work will make my ancestors proud.
Cycle 12. Strange-looking creatures appeared today in the North City Square. These aliens called themselves elves. Their pointy ears and flowing hair intrigue me. They speak of different lands, impossible lands. Those without water, or those filled with fantastic creatures. I must learn more about them. Cycle 39. Each cycle since the arrival of the elves, the Dalcan people have attempted to duplicate their extraordinary effects, but to no avail. I reach my 40th cycle soon. Finally, I will be able to lead my own studies. Cycle 66. Without the elves' odd tricks, we have now resorted to building our own way to travel to other planets. The technology they seem to have is many cycles out of our reach. Even so, I believe there are other ways off this planet. Cycle 100. My excavation begins today at Zirathu City ruins. Managing to rope in both Vudila and Zixat into my hypothesis, I have much to discover. Not even the elves know what lies beyond the impossible depths. I know I will find answers there.
What do you want to know about me exactly? My name is Minerva, I come from the planet Isgard, and I'm very good at finding things. That's about it. Alright, fine. I'll explain a little bit more. I'm not necessarily a bounty hunter, but I do travel across the galaxy in pursuit of different targets. The galaxy is a very big place. There are many wondrous things, of course, but with the good sometimes comes the bad. I eliminate the bad before it becomes a larger problem. I work for an organization called the Galactic Utility Intelligence Logistics Task Force, also known as GILT. Great name, huh? We're a rather undercover group, inconspicuously keeping watch over the many planets, pinpointing any threats that may arise and disrupt the safety of civilians. The majority of GILT is essentially a surveillance system that relays information back to our leader. However, when a threat to the people does arise, be it an angry monstrosity or an ancient fiend, that's when my team intervenes. We are a subset of GILT, known as the Special Protection Investigative Tactical Exploration Team, or the SPITE team for short. There are 6 ASMR on this team, including myself, each one of us with a different skill set. I contribute the ability to track down our target once we're in its proximity. I'm not bad with a blade or two either. Working with the team is alright. I wouldn't call all of them friends, but they are the people I'm closest to. Whenever we're not investigating a galactic threat, we're most likely just passing time on our starship. For me, this mostly means I'm in our training room, running through various simulations to keep my skills in good condition. I also enjoy a good game of cards every now and then. However, for some reason I'm always quite bad at trivia night.
So, I guess I'm supposed to be like... talking about myself or whatever? I mean, I don't know, Green, I'm pretty boring. All I do is work and blow glass pipes. I've been doing that. I smoke a ton of moss in my off hours. pretty much working all the time though. Come from a long line of Vaders. That means excavators. My family has worked with a deep organization for like hundreds of aeons. Oh, I should probably tell you what the hell that is, huh? DEEP stands for the Discovery, Excavation, and Expansion of Pandemonium Passageways. We're a little more progressive than those other Vaders, the dry, green hierarchy of excavation mining. No one wants to work for them. Frelin pieces of friend. Oh, sorry, shouldn't be swearing, Green. So, back to my job. I mean, I'm pretty good at it. Kinda hard not to be when you've been basically bred for it. Got my great-granddad T-Sip pickaxe right here. Probably wouldn't think by looking at me, but I'm a little quicker than most. Even got promoted to work dust detail. That's the development of the underground super tunnels. I know, far out, right? One time I got off draft cream, came out in this crazy big moss patch. Totally wild. Met this Formian. Dries and pores don't usually vibe cream. I dig him though, we grew close. He's the Dren, the real Frelin Dren.
Growing up, I lived in a small clan of Verdun. My ancestors were goblins who left their planet to live amongst elven communities. The relocation was hard for them. It took a while getting used to their new planet, but once they got the hang of farming, it was all uphill from there. I was never as good of a farmer as they were, though. All I wanted to do was play. Hide and seek or squink. It's kind of like capture the flanc. Those were my favorite. I love the adrenaline I get from a good hunt. Waking up to your farmhouse engulfed in flames in the middle of the night, all you can do is run. When my village of Minerva was destroyed by a swarm of ravenous pixies, I had no idea if I would even survive. Racing out of my smoke-filled home I grew up in, I ran straight to the barn. Mama always taught me to keep a pack of supplies ready in case anything happened. Just grab your pack and go, she'd always say. So I did, and a good thing that I did.
And welcome back. Hey everyone, guess what? We have a winner of the t-shirt giveaway. Said winner is Mama Bear 219. Congratulations, Mama Bear 219. If you could just send us an email at reserveinspiration@gmail.com.
You don't send the email, you don't get it.
That's right. We'll reach back out once you send one with your size and
Should
color
we do a reminder
and all that. What do you mean?
for the last person that won?
Yeah. So Danny,
yes.
what was it?
The unclaimed.
Just in case
shirt.
he jumped on there. I got it somewhere here. Danny F 211. You won last week. Haven't heard from you yet, so make sure to reach out. We'll get you that t-shirt.
Danny, that's a free shirt. That buys you a whole day on laundry.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
I don't know why this isn't
true. Yeah.
so true.
Plus, it's cool.
worth it.
So.
Plus, it's any clean.
Yeah, exactly. So, now to get down to a more serious matter, the fact that the party's about to get pummeled by earth elementals and or the Obsidian Order.
You're so funny.
Let's jump back in.
I didn't go on
A
the show.
quick, brief synopsis. In one of the broken chunks of the Halo ship stands an Earth Elemental facing off with number 1, number 2, number 4. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. And Minerva. And there is an unseen servant kind of close behind that Earth Elemental. Zaxa and much of the party, including Kubrick and Punch, are still on the Bolt 960 ship. And everyone else, including... Oh, and Plonk is still on the ship as well.
Yeah.
Tita and Bernadette and Emmy all jumped on the transport pod and are heading over to the Obsidian Order ship to look into jumping into that. There's a lot of other stuff going on. There's other Earth Elementals in different portions of the ship. But that is where we left off. So we're going to start back at the top of the round, which is number 7. There's no longer a large elemental to fire at. So I believe 7 is going to get to the cockpit and maneuver so that the hole that they dropped through will be kind of tilted sideways, so if they need to make a quick escape and leap inside the ship, they are able to. So he has the ship kind of on its side almost, tilted. That is 7 in Minerva. That brings us to you. It is now your turn. There is an Earth Elemental maybe 35 feet away from you, and you have a lot of allies in the way, because the hallway is very skinny. Not much room to maneuver by people. So what would you like to do?
How close am I to 2? Like, are we like next to each
You're,
other?
yeah, the two of you are pretty much shoulder to shoulder. 1 and 4 are about 15 feet away.
Okay. I'm just gonna say to her, you need to make your decision now. My offer still stands. You're either with me or you stay with them. And then
This was to
Minerva
2?
is going. Yeah, to 2.
Alright.
And then Minerva is going to just start like running along this strip of the ship, and she's going to look into rooms. She's just like calling out for Modrin and for Zin and Olve and even Onlum, whoever can maybe hear her. She's looking for them. And
before you get too far, the one issue with running down the hallway is the hallway is blocked by the Obsidian Order. 1, 4, and 2 are pretty much in the way of you going further down the hallway. You can go back the way you came, but there's no other rooms in that direction.
yeah, I'm just gonna push by one of them then.
Okay, so you get pushed by 2, and then you get up to 1 and 4, and they're almost shoulder to shoulder, kind of diagonal. You can try to go onto their legs, but there really isn't much of like, he's huge, he's big, he's a large creature.
Yeah, but I mean, how tall is he? Like, could I feasibly like actually slide under his legs?
Yeah, you can, I'll allow that, sure. Slide under there. You're gonna have to use your action to move enough to get by 2 under his legs, and then again by the earth elemental. But yeah, you could definitely do that.
Alright, yeah, I'm gonna do that, and I'm just gonna... Yeah, she's just gonna start calling for her friends or whoever can, like, hear her.
Alright, now as you scoot by 2, 1, and 4, they don't do anything to you. But as you scoot by the elemental, it's gonna try to smack you.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's gonna miss. You just duck right under its large stony hand as it swings overhead. And yeah, you kind of like duck off to the side and jump maybe like 10 feet, and you continue to head down. There is a door on your... Where is my sheet here? There's a door on your left, which you know to be Onlum's bedroom. And there's another door further down, which you haven't made to yet, which you know is the workshop.
Alright, well, since the ship is, like, under attack, I really don't think he's gonna be in his bedroom, so... And if he is, I'm disappointed in him and don't want to talk to him anyway. So, I will head to the workshop then.
Alright, so you do a little bit more movement down to the workshop. You can't quite get to the door, and your next turn you'll be able to do that.
Alright, and, like, she's still, like, actively, like, just, like, yelling for, like, particularly Modi and Zen, but, like... Olve and Onlum as well. Like yeah.
Absolutely. So you start yelling, moving your way down the hallway. And as you do that, there's no one out in the elements at the moment, I believe, right? No. Okay, so everyone's good. That brings us now to 1 and 4. They're both going to, well, 1, yes.
Didn't Bernadette drop down on the top of
Yes.
Yeah,
their ship?
yeah.
She is, yeah, good call. Good call. She's right on the top.
Yeah, I don't care about her, so I reminded you.
Ah, yes. The sacrificial.
Oh, are you gonna replace my closet buddy?
Lure.
Let me just make
Do
sure
you want me
I
to?
think she's good, but
Okay.
I'm not sure she is good. She is. She's fine. She's going to take half damage from this. Oh, there goes my mic. Sorry, Andy, if I just blasted out your eardrums. Okay, cool. So let me just add that in for her. And that brings us to... Oh, 1 is going to pretty much use his immense size to fill the hallway so that this elemental creature cannot get to 4. And then he's going to just kind of tighten his fists, and you see this fire and radiant energy begin to just swirl around his fists, and he just starts going to town, pummeling into this thing.
Whoa.
And he's going to hit with both. That is going to be... There we go. Okay. Oh yeah, he just... 2... The thing just crumbles into a bunch of dust and debris in front of him, and then he kind of just looks straight forward as if he's going to try to move through the rest of this tunnel. After him, it is going to bring us to 8, who is going to push 7 out of the way and take back control of the Obsidian Order's ship. And it's going to maneuver its way
shooting anymore.
Around to the other side and do the same thing it did with the hatch so that their people can head out the other side. And then that will bring us to Plonk. You destroyed that massive earth elemental last time.
Yeah.
So you have no more targets unless you want to fire at their ship.
What about the little boys?
Yeah, the little thing you said, some of them sprung.
They're all inside the bits of the ship.
And I don't really want to shoot at any of those because I don't know if there's anybody in there. I'm going to find the closest window to see like
again.
No, like
fish tank.
If I can see anybody, any like enemy or anything outside.
Okay. You can make a perception check if you'd like.
I would assume that the room she's in with the cannon has a window.
Has a window, yeah.
9.
Looking around, you see Bernadette on top of their ship, but besides that, you do not see anyone else.
Perfect.
Well, I don't really want to hit her.
Just open the hatch. Just. What was that?
Okay. There isn't really anything that I can do.
Okay. Alright, so after Plonk, we're gonna go to Diambra.
I'm just gonna get ready to just keep watching to see when an enemy comes out.
So you're holding an action,
Yeah,
and if you see an enemy, you want to fire at them?
I don't want to fire the gun at them.
Okay.
I want to cast Frostbite on them.
What's the range for that?
60 feet.
So yeah, as long as they're within range, yeah.
I don't have to send a beam at them. It just says that I can see within range.
Yeah.
So I just
so as long as they come into your visual range within 60 feet, that'll go off. Sounds good. Yeah. Keep that in mind though. So if I mention that someone comes out, you can have that sent off. Diambra is going to drop down from the ship onto the top of that longer piece of the Halo ship.
Fire!
And then she is going to attempt to leap down inside as well, successfully. So she slams down with her boots, and you see Minerva. Actually, you wouldn't necessarily see this, but 2 turns and kind of notices her with a sword and a shield, and aims her staff in that direction. Then, after that, it's Tita's turn. Tita.
What do I see? I'm inside the thing, right?
You're
and
inside
then she just hopped out
of the transport ship or the transport pod. What's her name? Bernadette just hopped out, landed on the top of the Obsidian Order ship.
And she did nothing from that point.
From there, she walked over to where the hatch was and lifted the above hatch up. So she
did not go
down
in. No. Okay. And then what do I see? No, there's nobody else. No, didn't you just say what's her face just jumped out?
Bernadette and Diambra are visible.
Okay, and that's it. That's me.
Actually, no. Diambra jumped inside that piece.
Oh,
you saw her jump out and then inside.
Okay.
Bernadette's on their ship.
Yeah,
not
on top.
Well, I guess I'm gonna jump down after Bernadette.
Alright, so yeah, you land down next to her, and then you head over to where the hatch is. You still have more movement if you'd like to jump inside. It's up to you.
Can I look inside before I jump inside?
Yeah, make a perception check. Yeah, you pop your head down.
Thank you.
What am I doing? Oh. 20 non-natural.
20 non-natural. Yeah, you take a quick peek around. You don't see any people, anything like that. It looks, at least where this hatch is, it looks pretty open.
Can I shout to see if anything calls back to me?
Yeah, what would you like to say?
Ew.
I mean, it's...
Hello?
Yeah.
Just go, yeah, hi.
Yeah, he's just really just demonstrate.
Hello?
Yeah. Hello? No, actually, he might yell Minerva.
Okay. When you yell Minerva, there's no
into the
response.
Okay. So then I will hop down.
Okay.
Well, I don't hear anything else, I assume. I don't hear,
You had, what, a 20 on your perception? Yeah. I would say you probably hear some shifting deeper into the ship, but that's about it.
I will jump in.
Okay.
Or whatever, hop down.
So you land down through this hatch, and you into a small hallway, and you can see on the left-hand side there's a door.
Okay.
Further ahead, it looks like it opens up into a larger room, and then you can see a doorway far in the distance.
I see no people or any.
Movement.
I see
making
no
a quick look around, you do not see any movement.
The door to the room to my left, that door is closed.
It is closed. It is closed. Yeah.
I will head toward the larger area.
Sure. What is your passive investigation?
10.
Okay. So as you start to walk down that hallway, you feel one of your feet touch the tripwire. And then a magical net just forms around you and lifts you up 3 feet off the ground upside down. You're just like hanging upside down, kind of crunched up in this net, just swaying
back.
Can I
chop at it with my pincers? Just cut myself
You could
free.
start to try to do that, sure.
Oh no, can I use one of my shurikens? That's like a blade. Is it? What is it? Is
on
it a
your
rope
next
or
turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a magical rope.
So probably not. But okay. Sure.
Because magic.
Because
magic.
Okay, so Tita, you are stuck in a net in the.
Frel, burn
snare.
Yeah, I would probably yell Frel and then yell towards Bernadette.
All right. Cooper can punch. They are just going to keep the ship steady. There's not much else they can really do. Actually, Cooper is going to be like, "Hey, spiky devil guy, just hold the ship steady. I'm going to help." And then he starts to.
Can Punch give him Nux when he says that?
Can he give him
like
what?
as
Knuckles?
like Nux? Yeah, like he wants to be friends with him. He doesn't understand why this guy.
Yeah.
Where is he going? How? What is he talking about? The escape pod's already gone. What does he think he's
Your
doing?
ship is right above their ship, so where's he gonna go? Drop down. He's heading out that way.
I thought our ship was next to the piece, and their escape pod was above their ship.
Oh, that is accurate. Yeah.
I feel like I need to see this map again.
Well,
I have no.
I was thinking of the wrong thing.
Here's the map. Here's the map.
I can see the map. Okay. All right, so we're right here.
Yeah.
So we were.
All right, this.
So sorry. So yeah. So Kubrick
where-
is going
here.
to head that way
There's
to where the hatch
the
is to get
enemy
out.
ship.
He's going to head that way though.
Okay.
That's his thing. Punch is going to keep the ship steady. And now that other Earth elemental is gone.
Know that these people.
All right. So there are 2 Earth elementals in one of the floating pieces nearby, and they're both going to leap toward where the action is through space. We'll see if they make it. Let's see their accuracy.
Oh, come on. Let them be like Jason.
Did they
in
just come
space
out?
When he just, for some
Yes,
reason,
so 2
with
of
his
them
hockey mask. Makes
leap
sense.
from the one labeled 6 and start to
So-
soar toward the one that's labeled 5. Yes,
Yeah,
your thing
so-
goes off.
Yeah.
There's 2.
So we
Which
can
one would
just
you like
space
to
leap
One.
now?
hit? Okay. You want to hit one of them? Yeah, obviously.
No,
No, the
it's
first one.
number 1.
This one? Or this one?
It
It doesn't matter.
doesn't matter. One of them.
I'm just messing with you. So they're flying.
I'm like, what?
Go ahead, cast your spell. What do I have to do? Is it an attack roll or is it a
You
saving
have
throw?
to make a Constitution saving throw.
They have a high constitution.
What are you? Wait, what are you shooting at? I was writing.
But with a roll of a 2, total of a 5, that is going to fail.
So 1d6 of cold
bad fall.
damage.
Bad
4 points of cold damage. And it has disadvantage on the next weapon attack roll it makes before the end of its next.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. So that one, when you hit it, that one blasts it even further off course. So you see one of them start to soar way away from the piece of the ship, and one of them lands right on the inside of the barrier, just behind it. So one of them has landed on its intended target ship, and the other one kind of flew out into nothingness. Okay, fantastic. That's just.
He's just like,
it goes towards something and it just kind of like.
2
Oh no.
is going to whip around and fire a blast of energy at Diambra. Sorry, Priya.
She's like, oh, Jesus.
Not even the nat 20 that I had to convince her in the bonus episode.
Spoilers!
Yeah.
So here we go. She is going to.
Yeah, I don't understand what you're talking about. I wasn't there.
We weren't part of the bonus episode.
Yeah, we weren't part of it.
Bonus, it was very excellent. You can ask anybody.
Okay.
But that's not all.
You hear some clattering of sound, and you turn around, and when you do, you see number 1 clutching his head, and he's kind of like kneeling down a bit. But that's what you see.
Wait, I see that? Who sees that?
As you're running down the hall, you look back and you see 2 whip around as if she's going to fire something at Diambra. But then number 1 ends up crouching a bit, holding his head as if in pain.
Okay. Alright.
Oh, all right. That works.
Look who spoke too soon!
Well, Aaron was like, sorry, Priya, so I expected the worst from that.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I just like to make you sweat a little bit. All right.
If I'm not already sweating.
After 2, Bernadette and Emmy's turn. Bernadette is going to leap down and just be like, seeing you upside down in that.
Oh my god, can I like Spider-Man kiss her? I hope she like fall down.
She's gonna go over and kind of like grab a bit of the net and shake it and kind of take a peek at it, see if she can figure it. She just kind of shrugs like,
I don't know.
I think you're on your own, Tita. And she kind of circles around you and begins to move into that larger area.
She just walks over, looks at the rock, and goes, no!
So yeah, she's circled around and she begins to take a peek at what's in that room. That's her turn. Emmy, what are you doing? Your skiff ship, if you will, is kind of just hovering above their ship at the moment, the Obsidian Order.
Okay, so, like, do I have any sense of where their friend, Minerva, actually is?
No.
0.
Somewhere close by, probably.
Probably.
Somewhat close by.
Yeah.
So if I leave this pod, it's unmanned.
That is correct.
So maybe
So
probably.
what you should do is...
Yeah, you're not there, sir.
That's all I was going to say.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, we're both in the thing.
Yeah, you guys are there, so, like, I care.
could,
I'm not
like-
gonna leave without you, but...
But you could do like a swoop, maybe.
Like, can I just do a general diagnostic of what is going on above and below and around me?
Yeah, good. Make perception checks so you get an idea of what's going on.
Right. Wait, can't you still talk back to the main?
Yeah, you can talk
Ship?
to Punch in your ship.
Oh, I can still talk to them, but can they even see anything from where they are?
Where they are?
Why
Well,
would
I
they even
can't.
know? It's not like that. Are they looking through binoculars into windows?
Yeah, I'm trying
like,
to think. I'm
they
getting
wouldn't be
myself
able to
confused.
see.
So, you got the bad guy ship is on one side kind of tilted. You're above that on the skiff, and then the good ship's on the other side now, right? Kind of. They had it moved.
Just in the vicinity of that thing. That's all I asked
It's not
for.
right above it. Okay.
Yes.
Just want to make sure we were all clear as to where everything is.
Okay, I got a 12 for my perception check.
Yeah. So
that's like-
from the skiff, you can looking out the front way because you're piloting it, obviously. You can see kind of forward and down. You can see the big chunk of the Halo ship. You can't really see anything inside. Maybe if you kind of get level and look directly in, you might be able to through the force field. But where you are currently, you can't see inside. You can see on the far side of it, the Obsidian Order ship has kind of tilted on its side and it's kind of just hovering in place on the opposite end. And you are right above that. Your skiff is right above that. Looking around at everything else, you saw the Earth Elemental fly over and land. So you know that that's inside where the place that you're above at the moment.
Okay. Which would be where I would think the Obsidian Order would be.
Well, their ship. If you want to try to put two and two together, their ship was hovering above that pretty much the whole time.
Because I would assume that I would think that they're jerks, so I would figure they had something to do with it.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe.
If you make an intelligence check, see if you can put two and two together.
15.
Yeah. You have enough context clues to put that together.
Alright, so I'm going to assume that I need to probably just board whatever's going on here so I can find this person. Because it's a bet, and to me it's fun. Yeah. Now we're playing hide and seek. So I need to know if this person is in here.
Yeah, so you put it on autopilot, I assume.
Yeah. We're just going to hover outside there. We're going to leave it there. I'm going to communicate to the ship that I'm leaving said pod.
Okay.
And I'm going to go in. And if anything happens, they know what to do.
I love it. That's fantastic.
Wink, wink. Whatever that means.
So you make a dexterity check to drop down into the... I know it's your favorite.
What?
I'm hoping Punch knows what to do, because I don't know what to do.
Right?
She's
like, wait, the plan that I didn't make up, but that
that's enough.
we made up earlier. Okay.
You like twist your ankle upon landing. You're kind of hobbling around. You probably lose like 5 feet.
I'm wearing shoes anyways.
Yeah.
This makes sense.
No, but that's not too bad. You land inside, and you can see as you land in. At the end of the hallway, you see Tita dangling upside down in this rope-looking net, but it has almost like this reddish force field energy around it as well, like a magical energy. And you can see Bernadette further down the hall, stepping into what looks like some type of lounge, or like it opens up into like a lounge area.
So I can clearly see she's a jerk and kept walking.
Oh yeah,
and left poor Tita, this poor creature just dangling.
Listen, she tried to figure out what was going on with it.
I mean, she didn't really try that hard. She was like, poke, poke.
May I walk up and just say, my friend, I feel like if you were drunk, you would be able to get out of this. That is not the case. Let me assist you.
Sure.
And then
she takes out some beers.
I mean, I'm strong, but I'm not dexterous.
Well, you're going to make an Arcana check.
Ooh. I don't even know.
Holy
that's a rando. Okay.
Also,
right.
Oh my god. If only you were there.
Also,
19, bro.
Ooh,
wow.
19. That is plenty to be able to figure out the intricacies of this magic.
I would assume I would have seen this garbage before.
Yeah.
You get up there.
She throws some whiskey on it, and it's like
you figure out like which strands you need to kind of work on and pull and whatnot, and all of a sudden, just the whole thing lets go. And
red wire
to the ground, like his back. That was successful. Very nice. So you get through that.
Good for
me.
It's good for me.
High five.
Except it's really like high 20 because
we miss anyways because I don't know what I'm aiming.
Oh, that's oh, it's not high 12.
There were 4 things and I didn't know, but we tried.
Zaxa, you are up, sir.
Cool. My servant is slowly making his way, which, by the way, he moves up to 15 feet per turn.
That's unfortunate.
It is.
Alright, so you move 15 feet.
So he's still doing what he's doing. He's going to continue doing that until he moves 60 feet away from me, as then the spell ends, or until he finds her and delivers the message, and then he waits until he gets another order.
Well, it's funny that you say that because as you commanded it and it landed in the ship, and as it's moving, Minerva is like kind of moving quickly, like right by it, and pretty much kind of bumps shoulders with this invisible. person.
Perfect!
And he sees this creature, this invisible manifested being, and then immediately communicates with you to let you know Minerva has been found.
Oh, well, his command was to find her and say,
can he speak?
We're here. So the thing is, it says he can execute simple commands. Doesn't say anything about speaking.
Yeah, I don't think so.
He can't.
He can't, no.
Perfect. So
maybe tap her shoulder.
What the?
What is that
Maybe
gonna
you should
do?
have given him something to give her so that she knew we were here.
How would I have done that when he appeared on their ship?
Yeah.
Oh, right, he appeared away. I
So,
thought it was the other thing that you made. And
but
was like, Here,
he
watch your
alerts
thing.
me that she's there. That is good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You get that little like ping in the back of your
You
mind that
know
Minerva is
Perfect. Okay.
there. Minerva, you're confused. You just kind of slammed into what felt like another humanoid, but there's nothing there in front of you.
This is a weird day.
Probably
Is there
not the
any
weirdest.
way
Mm-hmm.
I can make another roll to see if I can see into the window?
Yeah, absolutely. You can try again.
Perfect.
You can run to another window, one that just got finished being cleaned by Manny.
Yes. Good. I want to see in there. I need to be able to see
And they're
in there.
crystal clear, by the way.
Is this
'cause
is
it
this
was
still a
made.
disadvantage to see in there?
Well, yeah, because it's like you're looking through
Perfect.
one tiny porthole into another
no,
tiny
he uses
porthole.
like that
All right.
spread
From
that,
like 30
foams
feet away.
up and
I just
then
need
he
an
sees
unoccupied
it.
space that I can see. That's all I need.
No, it's like the
He hooks
like
it on
you
his
coming
belt,
to
pulls
work,
out a
like,
sandwich.
We're
it's all
improving.
white when he sprays
We're-
it on, and then
We're improving little by little. Now it's a 3.
Oh, good. Yeah, you can see shadows moving inside.
Does it look unoccupied?
It doesn't look unoccupied because there are shadows moving inside.
All right, I will continue on to another window.
Okay. All right.
That will be my turn.
Yep. After Zaxa, we're back to the top of the round with 7, who pops his head out from the cockpit and notices Bernadette there immediately.
ugh, I feel
And
like
just
7 should wear.
pulls out 2 daggers and charges in. So he is going to... Oh, lies. He's not even going to pull his daggers out. He's going to brandish his claws and come...
Wolverine?
Yeah,
He's a
what?
tabaxi. He's a cat person.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that he was the cat.
Runs in
So I guess,
and
yeah,
just
the
begins
Wolverine.
to start clawing at Bernadette.
Hey guys,
Say she wanted the action.
She did.
She did.
Can I see this?
That's my bro.
Oh yeah, you can see
I
it.
can't let that happen.
Oh,
You
wow.
and I are together. We can't
So
let this
she
happen.
is so dodgy and dexterous that he comes in clawing at her, and she's just like
It's like the Matrix.
Oh, good for her. She is what I'm
getting
not.
missed by all his attacks.
All right, she did want some action.
Yeah, she's ready to go. After 7, it's Minerva's turn. So Minerva, you just slammed into this invisible thing. You also saw 2 make it look like she was attacking Diambra, but really hurt 1.
Awesome. Okay.
Awesome.
She does first she does like a double take at like whatever she thought she just ran into. There's nothing there. So
There's nothing there.
So she, thinking that, like, you know, Diambra's free, 2 seems to be on our side, the 2 of them can, like, you know, they're together, that's okay. Minerva's gonna keep going on towards the workshop to see if she can just find any of the Halo crew.
Yeah, and with half your movement, you can get to that door, pop that door open, and if you'd like, you can make a perception check as you step inside.
Yes, please. I would like to do that. Okay, that's a 9 plus 5, 14.
Yeah. As you step inside, you've been in this workshop before. You know there's multiple workbenches. There's different stands that house different inventions that Zanesi had been working on. You see a couple different ones. There's a pair of goggles on like a mannequin off to the side, and there's a cute little black box that's on top of one of the workbenches, and so on and so forth. But when you step inside, you take a quick peek around, and you see Zanesi lying on the floor.
No.
And I would say that you have maybe 15 feet of movement and action still.
I go to her.
Bria, don't make that face.
I know, right?
I know, like all the women just went.
Make a medicine check. That can be your action.
She literally looked like she was about to cry.
Yeah,
And my eyes are, like, tearing up.
I know.
I'm literally
I'm not
crying.
wasting my action on medicine check.
Tough
No.
to hear.
I'm just going to use. Oh gosh, where is it? I'm gonna use 2 points of lay on hands.
Sure. Yeah, you pump the radiant energy and the healing energy into her. And you can see some of the cuts and bruises that she has sustained from this battle seem to heal up, but her status doesn't change. She's still laying there, seemingly unconscious. And that is your turn. So Minerva,
Ouch, man.
we're gonna move on. 1 and 4.
Dude, it's like, come on.
Crying.
Listen, I'm not gonna kill her. She's an actual player, so at some point.
Oh, then you just took away the mood!
Oh, come on!
If she's not dead, why is she not awake right now?
Yeah, you don't know.
I healed her.
It didn't
It
work.
didn't make her quite dead.
This is not
When
quite
I was
dead.
writing my
She's like,
notes, I didn't make
dead-ish,
her
it's
quite
bad
dead.
enough.
Dead-ish. So 1 is going to whip around and push past 2 to where Diambra and the elemental are. And he's going to lay 1 fist into the elemental and 1 fist into Diambra. Oh, alright. Elemental definitely gets slammed.
I don't know if it's good or not.
It's 1 punch.
You went.
It just like
One
cracks
punch.
this
Well,
thing. There's a
elemental,
huge crack that
like
goes down like its
cartoon.
entire body. It's looking pretty bad. And then Diambra gets missed. Actually, oh, she has no armor on. Let me check real quick. She might actually.
She has a shield.
She does have a shield. Her armor class is 12 at the moment. So let's see if he hits with his bonus. Yeah, it does. Just barely, but it does. So you kind of see... Oh no, Minerva, you're not in the room anymore. She took the same amount of damage the elemental did.
Alright, cool.
Not necessarily a good thing, but...
No?
She's looking real bad, actually. Pretty much the same as that elemental
Alright.
already.
I mean, I don't know that.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so after 1, 4 is going to put her hand on 1's shoulder, and he regains some vitality. Where is it? There we go. Oh, great. Oh, he's back to full. It's fine.
Who's back to full?
Number 1.
The big guy.
Big guy. All right, so yeah, he's looking pretty good. 1, 4 just went. 8 is going to.
Me.
He's going to hover the ship there. There's not much else he can do.
Oh, I thought.
So that's going to bring us to Plonk.
Yeah, it's me now.
Yeah, now it's you.
Back to Blanc.
Okay. Anybody else come out?
Nope.
Okay. I can't see anyone, right?
Literally no one.
Okay. I can't do anything.
You can leave the ship. You don't have to stay in the ship.
Yeah, but I can't. How long can I hold my breath? I don't even know that.
I don't know what's your Constitution modifier. I don't have that up, so.
2.
Constitution mod. So yeah, you can hold your breath for 3 minutes.
That's pretty good. How far is she from...
Yeah, but I'd rather stay by the
gun.
The gun
Yeah.
and like the window that I have.
You
to,
can
like,
you can just hold your action again. So if you see an enemy,
yeah, I'll hold an action again to do the same thing. The
Perfect.
frostbite
All right, Diambra is going
to an enemy.
Yes, when you see an enemy. Gotcha.
Yes. Good.
Diambra is going to ignore the elemental, and she's going to try to slice at number 1.
Ah, she's intelligent.
Well, you know, she's average intelligence, but take it.
I mean, she just got destroyed by him, so
Destroyed.
I would hope.
Yeah. So she's going to swing. Swing that. Oh, that's absolutely a hit.
What are they using for weapons?
She has
Those
a.
folks.
Which ones? One
1, 4,
has giant
2.
gauntlets that are swirling with flame
Diambra.
and radiant energy. He just fights with his fists. Number 1.
Okay.
4 doesn't seem to have any weapons. She's more of like a healer or like a manipulator. 7 has daggers and claws. And 8 has a hammer, but for the most part, he sets up like traps and makes potions and all that kind of stuff. Not that you would really know any of that, but Diamber has a short sword and shield in hand, and Kubrick and Bernadette both have a rapier, like a thin, piratey-like blade.
Okay.
But yeah, so
I know you think you know what I'm
I'll see Blade. Okay, so yeah, one takes some damage that he wasn't expecting.
Good.
And after Diambra, actually, she's a paladin. What can she do?
Not as much as Kubrick.
No. She
So
probably did more than
Diambra is
Kubrick.
not like...
She is going to cast Shield of Faith as a bonus action on herself. Because no other allies in the hallway. Two's in the hallway, but yeah, she'll do it on herself. So you see, no one sees this, but audience, you see a radiant glow form around her person for a moment, and then kind of fizzles away. And that will bring us to Tita, Kubrick, and Punch. Tita, what would you like to do?
What just happened? She cut me down.
Yeah, so you slammed out there, and you're prone right now.
Well, I'm gonna get up.
you see now that you're kind of dusting yourself off, picking yourself up. Emmy's right next to you. Bernadette is currently engaged with a cat person who's using claws. And
I can see that from where I am.
Yeah,
I thought we were supposed to get engaged.
And then the door to the cockpit is open. You can see another person at the controls.
Like on the beyond.
Beyond.
Like I see her in the thing, and then I see
Beyond.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cat
person.
Over
Sling
yonder.
in a dish of milk and see.
Well, first off, thanks. Second off, well, since I just walked down the hall and got snatched up by a net, I don't think I'm gonna just barrel ass forward. I think I might just kind of look at Emmy perhaps, and then look toward the Bernadette direction, but just be kind of like, I'm feeling hesitant about stepping forward.
No,
he needs some assurance
Yeah.
of which way to go here.
Keep in mind too, I'm just throwing this out there. A wonderful, kind, benevolent
yes.
DM. You have ranged weapons as well.
Yeah, but I could accidentally hit Bernadette.
You could.
Snap, yeah.
The one who
we
didn't
haven't
cut
been
you down.
rolling the best today.
I know, but she's
But
still.
think about the
but
broom
she's
closet.
still kind of on our side. She's still kind of, from what I would think, that she's still like on our side, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Or at least, even if she's out for herself, she's still trying to like kill the same things that we are. So
That is
like,
true.
I'm not like, oh, just a casualty by accident. So I probably still wouldn't want to throw something in her direction. Can I? How far away am I from that opening? Because I went up like to the room, like I'm in the hallway. I got
the
things
opening
like-
to the lounge.
Yeah.
You're like 10 feet from that, and then
I
she's
thought
probably
it
like
was the
another
cockpit.
10 feet into the.
So
lounge.
can I make sure there's
Beyond that.
no
I'm not
crazy
gonna lie,
stuff?
I'm having trouble
Like that I'm not gonna get
Yeah.
swooped up again.
Where we
Make
are.
an investigation check. See if there's any other traps set.
What am I doing? Oh, good. +0.
It's so much harder when we don't have
13.
like, a map in front of us.
You peek around. You take a quick look. You don't see anything that could be dangerous.
I will still slowly, like, feel my way like down.
All right. So you make your
Very-
way. I'll
yeah.
say that doing that.
Like I'm not going as like
You'll
fast.
get to her, but that's probably the end of your turn unless you have a bonus.
Well, like
action.
into the room. I get to her, or I just get to
You
the
can
doorway.
get to her for sure. Yeah.
No, I don't want to get
Wait
to
till
the.
I-
I want to get to just the opening.
Oh,
Since
yeah,
she's
it's only
10 feet
further
feet.
than that.
Yeah.
So can I do that and then assess? Like I want to, now that I'm there in the
Yeah.
room,
You
I want to
step
assess.
into this
Like
large
what am I? What's the
lounge
room?
area.
What's happening with them?
You look over to the left-hand side against the wall. It looks like there's
So much
maybe
caution.
something ripped out of the wall over there.
Like
Oh.
what
It's
type
tough
of
to
like
tell.
wires and things coming
About
out, or just
3
the whole
feet
of
up the wall, it looks like there's something was bolted in, but it's no longer bolted in. Next to that, there seems to be like some type of couch that extends all the way to the end of this wall with a little table at the end, and there's another small like love seat type thing, table in the center. It's kind of a little lounge area. And then off to the side, there's a dummy that you could be beating stuff up on the right hand side for like practice dummy. And then there's not much more in there. It's more like there's windows on both sides you can see out, but straight ahead there's an open door to the cockpit where you can see.
Do I see anything out the windows or not? Like from where we're at.
Taking a quick glance out the window, you are in the evil ship. No, actually, because the way that the ship is, it's kind of tilted. So if you look out the window, you see up or down. You don't see any of the battlefield.
And what is the situation between Bernadette and this thing? Like,
do I
think
has his claws out and he's like trying to slash at her, and she's kind of dodging, and it looks like she's about to.
So she looks like she's okay.
She seems like she's alright at the moment. Yeah, she could be fine.
So can I still move a little bit because I didn't actually get all the way to her? So can I?
Yeah, you can keep moving. Sure.
No, I'm just gonna stay where I'm at. I'm not gonna. Nope. I'm just gonna look back at Emmy probably, and do like a. With my pincers.
You see her kind of hold.
Not gonna say anything. Did they see me? Did I make any noise? Did they see me? No. Well, she already. Bernadette knows I'm there, but did the other thing see me?
Yeah, the one that's clawing at her, he can see right past her. You're right there in his field of vision.
Great, so I'm definitely looking. I'm like,
wait, there's an extra cat creature somewhere?
An extra cat creature? There's just a cat creature. And there's another guy in the cockpit. There's like a humanoid-looking guy, like human-ish, in the cockpit. And then there is this cat person fighting with Bernadette. Those are the only two people you've seen so far on this ship.
It's such like first world D&D problems right now.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, it's so much harder when we don't have a visual.
Look at the little cat person.
Gosh.
Alright. So, are you doing anything else, Tita? That's it?
No, I'm just motioning for Emmy to like hurry up.
Come assist, alright.
But I'm staying in the door. I don't want to get involved. If she looks like she's got it, I'm just gonna wait for Emmy to like meet up with me.
So Kubrick drops down. Let's see how successful he is. Kubrick
put that on.
Kubrick misses and is
goes into space.
Kubrick drops down and grabs onto the roof part. And as he does, his hand gets sliced on up a sharp piece of metal. He's like, and as he does, he lets go and begins to out into space.
No way!
He is.
Where did he drop down?
He was on top. He had left your ship, the good ship.
Yeah.
Dropped down onto that longer piece of the Halo ship. So at this point, he was trying to swing himself in, and when he did,
no! So nobody gives a flying crap about him when he.
Yeah, and then Punch keeps the ship exactly where it is. He kind of keeps it because that was.
How far away is Coop floating?
At this point, as he's like, and kind of falls back. He's about 10 feet away. He's trying to reach back out, but it's just out of his range.
I feel like
I'm
my
gonna have
crew would want to save him.
I'm gonna have a technical question on my turn, but I'm pretty sure I got him.
Okay. The Earth Elementals are going to go. There's only
good point. Probably not.
This one get destroyed, so there's only one left in this ship, and it is going to try.
Uh-oh.
It is going to try to hit one, since one almost annihilated it in one hit.
Yeah.
So. Yep, that's a hit. It's a good hit. Okay, so that is. Oh, he actually gets 2 attacks. We'll roll the other one.
I feel like I should hate him more because he's 1. Like 4, not so bad. Like 7, like who cares? 1, yes, I care.
Alright, that is the Elemental's turn. The other ones are all at faraway pieces of the ship, so that's good. 2 is going to attempt to... so she is going to, is this verbal? Yeah. She whispers under her breath and begins to swirl her hands, and it just becomes so heavy he can't keep himself up. He falls down to one knee, trying to maintain his... Oh, he fails. Oh, he fails so hard.
His face, he was just like...
2d8 force damage. Oh, almost max. 1 is looking. All right. So after
See
2,
that he's like dying.
One? I'm sorry. 1 is looking real bad?
Yeah.
Oh, alright. I thought he was cool.
He just took a ton of damage.
He got healed a little bit.
Yeah, like 3 points. So that's going to bring us now, after 2, to Bernadette and Emmy. Bernadette is going to hold her blade the long way in front of her, and she's just going to put her hand here and go... And as she does, it begins to form this clear energy that's like... And then she strikes in at her target.
The cat thing.
The cat guy. Okay.
We're all the same person.
It hits. It hits. Oh, good, good, good.
The tabaxi.
Yeah, so she did a little slice, and now there's this same energy that was around the sword is now around 7. And that is going to bring us to... Oh, Emmy. Your turn. So
Tita's probably like...
You're like 10 feet away from Tita, who has moved into this open area. And
So safe.
Bernadette and 7 are about 20 feet away from you. 10 feet past Tita. What would you like
Yeah,
to
I
do?
motioned for you to join me, was what happened last.
Yeah, that is accurate.
Basically the Tita equivalent of I didn't do that, but that's basically what happened.
I feel like I would protect my friend. We grew up together, so this is fair. Can I do... Ooh. Ah. I don't feel... It's a cone, though. They were cones. I don't feel like I can reach this cone of reach to the blaze at this cat thing to get it away from my friend without hurting my friend. But she's fire.
It's probably accurate.
So does it matter?
She would at the very least take half damage. The very most, I should say. Take half damage.
Yeah.
She's resistant. Like you,
Is
she's
this
resistant
thing already
to fire.
hurting? Like, if I do, I
Bernadette?
feel like it's worth it to do.
Bernadette doesn't look hurt at all.
No, the other thing.
Oh, the other thing? Oh, the cat guy?
Yeah, I just
Oh.
want to remove the threat here, so we can keep moving
He's
on.
looking all right. He hasn't taken much damage. He just took some from that one hit that she just gave him. So he's still looking pretty hardy.
Okay, but this is a numbered person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would inherently not trust said numbered person.
Yeah.
Probably.
Because 1 through 8 are not good. I would have gathered by now.
I would say
Yeah.
Minerva's 6.
I don't know her as that.
Right.
I only know her as Minerva.
That's true.
I
That's
don't
fair.
know her as a number.
Right.
So
Plus, you can tell, like, this cat person has a tail and ears poking out, but the rest is pretty much covered in, like, black leathers, and he has the same mask as Minerva. Well, actually, I haven't seen Minerva's mask, so you wouldn't know.
No.
But a completely solid black mask, and the indented parts, like, there's, like, a pattern on it. The indented parts have almost like a mirror look to them. Like, it's a shiny black stone or metal.
It's like reverse Death Eater.
Yeah, exactly. So, what would you like to do?
Spooky scary.
Spooky.
I know, I don't.
Spooky Halloween.
You said a metal mask, though,
Yeah.
correct?
It is metal, yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
Obsidian.
Halloween is not a problem.
so I want to heat metal. Then.
Oh, heat metal! Hell yeah.
Oh!
Good
Yeah.
idea.
Oh!
Burn your face the frill off.
So, what is it that I need to do to try to save from this, or does it just happen?
It's within 60 feet. 2d8 fire damage. Lasts for 1
I
minute.
believe it just happens, and I have to try to he can pull the mask off on his next turn. But yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of just what happened.
go for it. Do your thing.
Ew. All right, hold on. Let me figure out what are
The guy,
d8.
it's targeting the metal, and the metal doesn't get a save.
Right, so it just starts to heat up. So yeah, roll those 2d8s.
Okay, so 6. We're not exactly excited about this.
Listen, 6? That's damage. That is damage that he's taking.
6 is a number. And the number is for damage.
It is a number. It is not 2. So we were happy about this.
Bernadette and Tita, you both notice that the black mask that this cat person is brandishing
It's like
begins to turn like an orangey
get
glow
that
color.
orange embery glow.
And he's like, ah! And begins to like reach up and like scratch at his mask as his face is beginning to burn.
Great idea.
Anything else that you would like to do? Any inspirations for either? Do you have an inspirational quote?
I definitely look at the thing and look at her like.
Well, my friends are near me, correct? I have two allies close
nearby.
to me, so I do believe that I would also like to go ahead and do Mantle of Inspiration, so that if anything happens around my friends,
I think that's a 10-minute thing.
It is grant 5 temporary HP to up to 3 creatures you can see within 60 feet. It's speed without provoking opportunity attack.
What do I have to do?
It's basically bardic inspiration, but like you're spending it to do this.
I think it takes 10 minutes to do. I'm bringing it up right now. I think we went over this before.
We went over. I mean, I don't think that Freddy Krueger with the Bernie face is really gonna impede on what I'm doing here. So I'm not really worried about it.
But to be honest,
it's a bonus action?
What?
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
You don't think I know what I'm doing here?
Never mind.
So what do you say?
Playing this earlier than all of you.
What do you say? What do you say to them to inspire them with this? These 5 temporary hit points.
Wait, so what do I have to do anything?
You're getting 5 temporary hit points.
I have to do it.
Yeah.
Can I? How do I?
Under your hit points, there's the little temporary spot. If you click underneath with the little lines, you can add in 5.
Oh, what happened? What happened?
No, you're on conditions. Get out of there.
Oh.
Alright, so 5 temporary hit points. What do you say?
Your friend knows you're here to save you. Prove her right. I'm gonna scream it.
Fantastic. Did they get anything else besides those hit points, or is that the?
I believe it's just that up to 3 creatures.
All right.
Stop clicking everything.
Each creature can immediately use this reaction to move up to its speed without provoking opportunity
Does it say
attacks,
that
but it doesn't.
You can't do yourself?
It doesn't say that I can't do that. It just says 5 temporary hit points to up to 3 creatures
Then
you can
know what?
see.
Yeah, you can see yourself. You can kind of be like, I will.
There's a reflection in one of the windows. She's like, "Hey,
you
sorry."
inspire
He's gonna
yourself.
go heinous, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
I need the help.
Yeah, we'll give it to you. All right, so
See
5
yourself in the
temporary
reflection of the window. I said.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Medusa. She'll turn
Yeah.
to stone, and that's it. All right. So that now brings us to.
Do I know that happened to me?
Well, I yelled it to you.
No, like that I have like extra life.
You feel
or
this
something,
this
like...
this bit of extra vigor.
Okay.
Yeah, I yelled something, you heard me, and you felt all, like, tingly.
Warm inside, yeah, a little tingly.
It's Tita, so he's probably misreading that. So now he's probably giving Emmy the eyebrows.
Like,
He's tingling in his abdomen. He's looking at. He's looking at.
I just started to take that guy
Bernadette.
down. Now all of a sudden I'm like, something's happening. Something's happening.
Zaxa.
So my question is,
Yes.
Do I know that Kubrick
He's
is
floating
floating?
away. Can you
Because I can see the piece,
Well, he's right there.
and if he's going toward the piece, or he
going
was
away
trying
from
to.
the- Yeah, you
You
can
should
see him like.
probably put the hat on ahead of time.
Okay,
There it is.
there we go. Okay, so he was going toward a hatch, correct?
Yeah, well, not a hatch. It's like where the ship was ripped in 2 pieces. He was trying to drop down into that open area.
I feel
So
like
there
we
is an
should
open
first
area.
Yes,
Quite
there's a
a
force
sandwich
field,
or
but it allows
something,
people
and then-
to go in and out. It just doesn't allow the
Sarah, we need
atmosphere.
some fan art
to-
of
Okay,
Kubrick floating
can I
away.
see through the force field?
Yes.
And just now I'm being aware of that I can see through the force field.
Yes.
Perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to two things.
Yeah.
I'm going to I'm assuming it's within 30 feet of me. That would be very nice if it was
Yes,
within 30
it is
feet.
actually, yeah.
Perfect.
Just barely,
So,
but it is.
Oh god. Stop
Stop touching
doing
things.
that.
Stop touching things.
I'm touching my spells. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first shout out Polka Scrap! And I'm going to...
Polka Scrap? Is that what you said?
I'm Polka Scrap!
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to Misty
Makes so
Step
much more sense.
Oh, Misty, we're stepping.
into that area through the force field on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
Into that piece.
I love it.
Perfect.
You appear right behind the Earth Elemental because there is no other place that you can appear.
That is perfectly fine with me.
Okay.
And because that is a bonus action, I do believe I can use a cantrip.
You can.
As an action. My cantrip will be...
We getting so fancy.
Galdra Hand! And I will use Mage Hand to grab Kubrick.
Oh.
And pull him, because I'm assuming that in space he weighs a lot less. And I have
I will
10
roll some
pounds.
percentile die and see how that works out for you.
This is all I can do for him.
Oh, I know. Okay.
And I would
rolled a
like
12.
to pull him toward me. You rolled a 12?
A 12.
Nice.
Yeah. So that means he's going to be pretty light. And as he's like, this invisible hand just grabs like the scruff, and he's like, as he's getting pulled closer to the ship. No, the piece of the ship, I should say. And I believe that it concludes your turn.
That's my
You have
turn.
nowhere to move unless you want to jump back out of the ship edge. So.
Perfect.
That is my turn.
All right, after Zaxa, 7 is going to use his action to tear this mask off of his face
There you go.
so that he doesn't burn anymore. He just rips it off and drops it to the floor. And as you do, you see some of his fur is just like burned and singed in some parts. It's just missing. It's just you can just see burnt skin underneath. And yeah, he rips that off. He's going to use his bonus action.
Going with it.
He's going to use his bonus action as a rogue to disengage. And he's going to start heading for, like, by you and Tita and everyone to the hatch to try to get away.
To what?
Wait, what?
7 is
the
going
hatch?
to buy you guys.
7 is the meow meow.
Is the meow meow, yeah.
Alright.
Is gonna leave. I had out.
I am not
Yeah.
dexterous, but so help me.
Trying to do.
Okay.
Is he not what?
I am not dexterous, but so help me. I can't let this happen.
Kubrick is not here right now, so I'm going to take that sweaty hat off. Here, I'll pass this note. That's there.
Wait, does he walk?
Like I did.
Yes. Oh my god.
What did you say?
I'm sorry.
No. So 7, yeah, 7's
This is
booking
getting
it.
laminated. I'm gonna bring that to work tomorrow, and then we're gonna hang up.
7's booking it out of there, and Minerva, we now head to you.
Wait. Does he walk by? He walks by us?
Yeah.
Disengage, you can't attack him.
Yeah, sorry. Unless you have Sentinel, is that the thing that you have? Sentinel is your feet. You didn't take.
What
that. You
did
took-
I? How did what?
I don't have your character up because I've got
Like
like
feats.
10 other characters
This thing?
up. So
All the way down.
No.
No.
I picked.
Burn this guy's face
yeah,
and
he
he's just
just-
gonna walk
he-
right
he-
by me?
he leaves his mask behind, but he passes right by Bernadette and kind of gets out
I
of her
have
area.
Sentinel.
And then almost like shoves by you and then shoves by by Tita first and then you and kind
I
of...
can't even like whip a little shuriken at him.
You
Nothing.
cannot. No, he's the disengage feature that he has as a rogue, so it's right through everyone. After 7, Minerva, you are kneeling over an unconscious body of a good friend of yours, Zanesi, in the middle of her workshop. And healing magic did not work to bring her back. What would you like to do?
So I'm not sure if this makes a difference, but I am now realizing that there's a difference between healing hands and lay on hands, so I can't actually control the amount that I give, and I just would have given her 4.
Okay.
I don't know if that really does anything.
It doesn't.
But
I will say, with you had a decent perception check last time, right? I can't remember.
it was like I think it was like a 15.
13, I think, or 15, one of the two. That's enough to, when you open the door and you run over to her, you can see that the window that she has is a crack, and a lot of the atmosphere is getting sucked out. And as you run in, you're like, it's almost, you're short of breath getting to her. So you think that that might be one of the issues, is that she was suffocating.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that makes it better.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You have 6 seconds.
Like, I don't want to leave her here if she's gonna suffocate, but I don't want to bring her into the hallway because that's where like everyone is. I'm going to
give her CPR. Obviously,
I'm not good at medicine.
Well, just because you're not good at it doesn't mean your character wouldn't try.
They would probably definitely try.
Yeah.
I think what she would do is she would first look to see the situation in the hallway, and if it looks relatively safe, she's gonna try to bring Zanesi out to like better air.
Oh yeah, so you stand up, head over, pop your head out. The action itself is pretty far from where you are. We're talking 40, 50 feet away is all this action that's going down. There's an earth elemental. One seems to be fighting a bunch of people around him. Zaxa just poofed into the hallway as well.
Poofed!
Yeah, you see Zaxa, which you didn't know that they were even here. So Zaxa has arrived to your aid.
That's comforting.
Well, sort of. He's sort of around.
So I guess she kind of like she just like stares, like hoping that like Zaxa can see, but how are people in the hallway looking?
I wouldn't be able to at the moment. I'm focusing on pulling Kubrick in the
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, that's valid.
What'd you say, Minerva?
What's like the condition of people in the hallway? Like, how's Diambra looking? How is one looking?
Real quick, one's looking bad. He's breathing heavy.
Like bad? Like how bad?
Like pretty bad. I'm not gonna give you much more than that, but yeah, he's breathing heavy and he looks rough. You can't see his face or anything, but from just what you can see about his body, he looks like he's kind of like slumped a bit. 2 is perfectly fine. 4, perfectly fine. Zaxa looks fine. Diambra looks real bad as well. She doesn't look like she's doing too well. The Earth Elemental looks real bad. It's crumbling, but it's still up.
Well, that's good news for me.
Mm-hmm. So, real quick, you have an action. That's about it. Action, bonus action, actually.
Bonus action. Would it be an action to get Zin and like bring her out to the hallway?
We don't really have any more movement because you were prone, so you took half movement to get up and then the rest to get to the door and look out.
Okay, so no movement. Oh, okay. If that,
you have your action, so you can move back in, but you can't really do much else.
I mean, if I can't feasibly get Zin out of there on this turn, I am going to use my bonus action to move Hunter's Mark.
Yeah.
Draw that little check mark above 1. And I'm going to try to shoot him.
Get it. Let's see if you can kill him.
This is
or at least
she's trying to kill one.
Make him unconscious.
That is a 13 plus 6 to hit. 19.
Yeah, that hits.
I think.
Alright. So he's going to take... He's going to take 8 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And he's going to take 6 points from Hunter's Mark.
Oh, 8 points left him at 1 hit point. And then your Hunter's Mark took him down.
That was...
He shoots for the back of his neck.
Yeah, and you hit like right above the shoulder, in between the shoulder blade and the neck. And as he takes, you see him kind of like with the force go forward a bit, fall to one knee, and then just collapse completely to the ground. And that is your full turn. As that happens, 4 screams out.
I was like, oh, 4 is right there.
Yep, she is extremely upset. And that is going to bring us now to 1, so he gets his first death save. Okay. 4.
That was a very good stone face. I have no idea what you rolled.
What can I say? 4 is going to, in her infinite anger, she is going to point her finger at you, Minerva.
Not her finger.
She's like, how dare you? And I would like for you to roll a Constitution saving throw for me as this purple beam of energy flies out at you and strikes into your chest.
I know she typically does not like doing this. That's going to be an 18 plus 3.
Wow. Okay. See if you take half.
I like having the person back that actually rolls well.
Yeah, you are going to suffer half damage, but you have no other effects from it, so that's really good. So that's going to be 4 points of poison damage.
Okay.
And that's the only effect, and you can just see the rage building up inside of her. Yeah, and that's what she does. Can she bonus not do what she wants to do with the bonus action? So no, that's it. That's what she got. And that is going to bring us to 8. Is going to slam the door closed and lock it on the ship that you and Emmy and Tite, you, Emmy, and Bernadette are on, because he doesn't want to have to deal with you, especially since 7 is running away. And that will bring us to Plonk. Plonk, you're up next. No enemies became visible, unfortunately, through that round.
Yeah, I'm just gonna continue to hold.
The ship that you are on is kind of hovering above that entrance point to the piece that everyone's in right now. But not that you would really know this, there's no room for you to really jump in there at the moment.
Yeah. So we have like a hatch on like the bottom of the ship.
Yeah.
So is that open?
Yeah.
Oh.
Air is being sucked out.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go to the hatch and close it.
Yeah, that's a smart idea. All right. Anything else?
Use my bonus action to dash back.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I still hold or no? Is it still holding?
Well, I would say that running that good distance is going to use your movement and most of your action. I'll say the rest of the actions to close the hatch, and then bonus action to run back. Yeah. So that would be probably it. Good.
Okay, that's fine. That's what I have to do.
That's what you got to do. You don't want to be sucked out of the ship. Diambra is going to.
You're afraid of me? Sucked out. You're afraid.
Diambra is going to look over at the elemental that is threatening her. And then she is going to look at one who is laying unconscious on the ground, and she is going to stab down into him to try to end his life.
Yes, we stab into stones.
All right,
this is smart.
Fine.
She has advantage because he's prone. That's cocked. Jesus, come on, give me something here. Let's see. I don't think that's going to hit, even with him prone. That's not enough. She goes to stab down, and her sword kind of glances off of the metal armor that he's wearing and just hits the ground. And she gets frustrated, and she brings her hand back up as if she's going to try again. But that's all she can do, unfortunately. Yep. As a bonus action, she will cast... is it Thunder Smite? The one she's got there? Yeah. So her sword begins to emanate with energy, so she's ready for her next turn. And that will bring us to Tita. 7 just ran by you, and 8 closed the door.
Wasn't there somebody in the room in front of us though?
Yeah,
They're
that's
both
8
left.
who closed the door and locked it.
Oh, he closed the door. He's on the other side.
Yeah, he's still there.
He closed the door after 7 ran through it.
Yeah.
No. Seven ran
Seven
the
was
other
never
way.
in there, yeah.
He ran toward the exit the way you all came in.
Seven ran past us and out the door that we came in. The guy in front of us shut the door, so now we can't see him because he's on the other side of the door.
You got cockpit, lounge, exit.
Yeah.
He ran to the exit. 8 is over here in the cockpit. Close the door.
Cool.
What would you like to do?
I suppose I will approach the closed door.
Okay, sure, yeah. Yeah, you can approach it, no problem.
What does it look like I could maybe break into it? Is there some sort of panel?
You get to the door, there's no handle. It's just like a
I said like a panel
yeah,
or something. Yeah. Okay. No.
You look and you see a crystalline panel on the side. There's like a number keyboard and there's a small crystalline screen.
I feel like he would know nothing of what to do.
Like,
So
what do you...
he's just gonna be like, all right, cool, I can't do anything here.
7 hasn't left the ship yet. He is climbing up the ladder. Still in visual range. But you're, at this point, since you ran to the door, you're probably like 50 feet away from him.
Great. Cool. Yeah, no, nothing. I guess. How far back towards him could I get?
Can you tell her what she's able to do?
No, what am I able to do?
Remember those shurikens you have?
Yeah.
You can throw them at him.
Or, hey, remember you have key points, which gives you extra movement?
Well, I was just asking you how far
yeah.
away he was from me.
About 50 feet.
How far could I get without using extra stuff?
You moved
how much
about
I went,
10
like...
feet in, so you have about 40 left.
Oh, well, so it's almost the whole way.
Okay, it's not the full
So then I will go almost the whole way, and then
so then you're 10 feet away from him. Yep.
And then we're not gonna. I don't want to waste that. We'll use a thing, and then I'll get right up to him so I can axe him. Yeah.
Right.
No. I'm gonna use a.
Oh, you bonus action, key point, move some more.
Yeah.
And then use your action to pummel. Go for it.
Yeah.
It's this guy.
This guy. Wait, do I have to? I can axe him, right? I don't need to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pickaxe him.
Pickaxe is coming out. 23.
It definitely hits.
Okay.
Yeah.
You slam the pickaxe right into his Achilles heel and just kind of tear down.
Yes.
No.
That's enough of that guy.
Oh, I hate it.
Thanks, I hate it.
Super. 3 damage.
3 damage. You don't actually pull him down. The pickaxe gets pulled out before you actually pull him, but he's up there. He takes a little bit of damage from that. With that being said, Kubrick is his feet just barely touch down on the edge, but there's nowhere for him to go. So he's just clinging onto the edges of the wall, trying to hold himself in, and there's really nothing else he can do because he has nothing ranged. So that's gonna bring it to Punch. Punch is just kind of keeping the same. He doesn't have anything else he can do. He's just holding the same spot over the ship.
Good. Please do.
And now the Earth Elemental that's in there. He has 2 possible targets at the moment.
Hey, buddy.
Let's odds will be Zaxa, evens will be Diambra. Evens, Diambra. He's going after Diambra again.
I don't know which one would have been worse.
Going after Diambra's worse because she's going to go down for sure if he hits.
Yeah, but
I don't know
I
who
may have
this
gone
person
down.
is, but I feel
She's harder to hit
bad
now.
about this.
Huh?
Yeah, she's harder to hit though.
She's harder to hit.
Diambra?
Yes.
Yeah, she's got a shield.
Oh, yeah, barely.
Even without the shield, she's harder to hit.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm assuming her dex is higher than Zox's.
Possibly.
It's probably higher than mine.
Sorry, I realized that I typed the wrong thing earlier. She's got 9 points. Oh, no. Don't worry, I didn't screw that kind of thing up. Good. Slide changes. Alright, cool. We're back to where we need to be. Diambra is... Yeah, she's gonna get hit probably. Let's see. Let's find out.
no.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I done stung myself.
Oh no.
Bye, world.
Oh, goodbye, world.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
She gets knocked down.
Maybe.
So Diambra attempted to stab into one and then got pummeled by the Earth Elemental, and he's going to turn to make his second attack against Zaxa.
Oh, this.
Oh,
that
no, it doesn't.
Superfluous.
It doesn't?
No. Hold on. Just to make sure.
You actually
You have to get a
deflected
9.
something? He's like, whoa.
You have to get a 9.
You deflected
I rolled a 4
an
on the
attack?
die. It has a +4 to hit. I rolled an 8.
You know what it is? It's,
The one
it's
time
me
that ever
trying
works.
to turning and being like, Cooper, will you get in here? Grabbing as I go to grab him.
Arm right
goes
behind your head slams into the metal of the wall.
It was an accidental oops.
Accidental
right
miss.
there.
Goes, falls unconscious, but Zaxa avoids the.
Oh my
the hit.
god.
Sounds
all right.
right. It feels right. It feels right.
It
just feels right.
2 is going to. She is going to.
Yeah, it's a.
She's going to
It's a
turn to
crowd
4.
favorite.
And she's going to say, I suggest you heal Diambra.
That is a good suggestion.
Let's see. Let's say 4.
Oh no.
4. Oh, she saved exactly. Damn. She just shakes her head and she says, I will never. And that is going to, yep, 2 can't do anything else. Bernadette is going to try to kick the door down.
That 8 just
And it's not
closed.
enough. It's not enough. She just slams a couple into the door a couple times, but it doesn't seem to move. Emmy, anything you'd like to do? 7 is still trying to make his way up and out of the hatch, and 8 has barricaded himself in the cockpit. Tita and Bernadette is trying to slam down the door. Tita's at the base of the ladder trying to pickaxe at this guy.
Alright, no offense, but I feel like you got it with a pickaxe. So I'm gonna try and help Bernadette and slam that.
Yeah.
door down.
Make an athletics check.
Oh god.
No offense. Not helping you.
I think
You can have advantage because she's also doing the same thing. She's trying to you're helping. So
17.
17 total. Nah, unfortunately, even with the 2 of you slamming your shoulders into this door, this is a pretty solid door. It's not not quite enough to. Yeah, you're getting bruises, little bruises on your shoulder. Anything else you'd like to do, Emmy?
Is that like the one action I can take, or does it?
That
need to
is
be a
your
bonus
action. Well, that's half your movement to get over there, and then your action to start slamming into the door, so you got a bonus and half your movement left. Zox, so you're up on deck. What you got?
Show me what you've got.
No, I can only grapple. They're too far away. No, and I get. What am I gonna do? Inspire people? They're already inspired.
I'm being like,
Is
no
it
help
not
at all.
still the same inspiration? Like
You
I'll
destroyed
try
the
it
big guy.
again.
You shot him in the
You're
Like, I'll
face.
try and
regular
inspire
inspiration?
everyone again. The
The,
bardic
I don't know
inspiration,
that you
just the regular.
Yeah. So you have to choose one of them. So you can choose Bernadette or Tita to give an inspirational quote to.
Okay, well, there's 2 of us versus 1 door versus 1 creature versus a person.
Yeah.
So I would like for it to.
Yeah. What would you like to say to Tita to inspire him?
Inspired!
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty much half in the bag anyway, so it wouldn't be anything very eloquent.
Gurgle, gurgle.
Yeah.
I'll just scream, Bernadette, tell them you need help. Just tell them to do stuff.
Bernadette looks at you like, what? Fantastic.
Are we making eye contact this whole time, though, so that this is all being translated? Okay.
Tita, write this down because we're going to be ending soon.
Okay.
That you have for next time an inspiration die D6 that you can add to any of your D20 rolls in the next 10 minutes in game. Anything else, Emmy? Is that it? You gonna move? Or you want to stay by the door?
I want to stay by the door with my buddy because I feel like it's just she and I versus that door.
Yeah,
We gotta
two
kinda
flaming
get
sets
in
of hair
there.
just
Yeah.
up against the door.
We'll
Meanwhile,
work it out.
Tita's getting so
work it
turned
out.
on.
Zoxa.
We're using advantages here.
Does
We're like-
Kubrick need my help to get in this thing?
No, he
more?
just needs room to be able to fit in there.
Oh, okay. So,
I love that. Does he need me? Because I really am all set.
so I just need to move out of his way, or move the elemental out of his way.
Yeah, either way.
Cool. Catapult.
You're gonna catapult it?
The elemental. Oh yeah.
I like the conviction with which you said it too.
Yeah.
That was all necessary.
Dexterity save?
That is a dex save from him.
I am going to
avoid the thing.
I am going to change that up because you are not throwing things at him. You are trying to physically move him. I'm going to say that he has a strength save to try to keep himself in place instead of a...
Oh no! I'm sorry. I'm using one of my darts for catapult to whip at his face. I want to do him damage.
Right, well, you're within 5 feet of him, so you can't really... It's going to be disadvantage or advantage on the save. Because if you are within 5 feet of someone and you try to do a ranged spell or a ranged attack, you have disadvantage.
See, this is technically not an attack.
That's true.
Ranged effect.
So this is me sending an object 1 to 5 pounds 90 feet in a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
If the object would strike a creature, that creature must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, it strikes the target and stops moving. When the object strikes something, the object and what it strikes each take 3d8 bludgeoning damage.
Okay, so
it's not technically an attack.
Dexterity.
Okay. Yeah.
So it would literally just be throwing it up and going, go forward.
I would say that how you would have to do it is you'd have to take the dart and kind of throw it down the hallway and use the catapult to fling it back because you're literally right next to him, and if you fling it at him in that direction, he's just going to hit the wall. He's not going to fly out. So you got to kind of toss it down the hall and use the magic to pull it back at him.
Okay.
I'm depicting this.
I just want to kill him. I don't want to
Yeah.
I'm assuming if he crumbles, there'll be
like,
room
I'm
for
listening
Cooper to
to
get
this,
in.
and I'm like, this is so.
He's gonna fail his dex save.
Okay, cool. Cool. That I am fine with that. That means I get to roll damage for once.
Ooh.
3d8
Oh,
to be
Saxon is
specific.
cute little damage.
Wow. That's just awesome. So that'll be, of the 3d8, that's 7 damage.
Yeah.
I rolled 2 1s and a 5.
I am going to make a strength save, and if it is below a 10 in total, he's going to get thrown out of the ship. So
cool. So I'm going to use my portent and make it a 9.
Wait, my crew's throwing
you
it
make
out?
it a 9, but he has a bonus still.
That's a good point.
Do you want to do that?
No, I'll let you roll.
Okay. I figured as much.
Thank you.
That is what is his bonus? 3, so that's an 11. He succeeds. He kind of wobbles for a second, but he does take that damage, and he's looking really bad. Like if an elemental could be bloodied, I would describe it as bloody. There's like sap seeping out. You know, you got dust just falling off everywhere.
Dust and bugs.
And with Zoxa
Like
doing some serious damage to this guy and almost killing him, that is unfortunately we're going to have to end. We're going to have to hold off the remainder of this battle and the status of Zenesi until... Oh, and the status of Diambra, because she's also... unconscious at the moment.
Just real quick, is there any way I can push up against the wall so Cooper can freak in?
You haven't used your movement. I'll say that you can kind of throw yourself against the wall.
I just want him to get in the ship and do the thing. Attack.
Do it.
Use your weapon for once.
Do something.
Well, that is going to be it. I did want to just a reminder that Mama Bear 219, please email us so we can get your information for your T-shirt.
If you haven't already.
I believe who was the other guy, Danny F 211 as well from the previous week. Do the same. Email us and we'll get back to you. But as for that, thank you all for watching. This was, I feel, an exciting battle between our heroes and an enemy and another enemy, and they're all fighting each other. I love when the situations like that. So again, thanks for sticking with us, watching so late, and have a great night, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.